Leche. 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 Get 'em, Jimmy. Where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty. I'm the cracking. We stacking. Chips, all of this. What I want. Plus money winners. That's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated. Bouquett produced. Play the juice. Letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon cause we lead. Oh yeah. Pubbing. We be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Kentucky Oaks Day. Happy Sabino Anguano Day. He's still our friend. He doesn't need to disappear. The Mets won in extras. What a roller coaster ride for Sabino Anguano. I make this bet, and if it loses, I will never see you again, or you will never hear from me again. I'll figure out the right terminology for that play. It's 2-0. Sabino remains our friend. I'm so pumped up, man. I'm just so pumped up. I'm giddy. I'm so excited about today. I am so excited about the Kentucky Oaks. I'm so excited about our show and our action here. Then I'm going to head over to Razor Sharp Picks channel to hammer the Kentucky Oaks. And then we're here all day tomorrow, starting at 10:15 a.m., probably ending around 10:15 p.m., 12 hours of straight horse racing glory. Today's show, we're going to cap Friday and Saturday's NHL and NBA. I'm already locked in NHL. I'm locked in all my bets today. We made them yesterday. My action for tomorrow. I did break that curse of the Leafs Bruins series with that first period under 1.5, which was ludicrously easy. I don't know if it'll always be that way. Also, the Knicks, my lone bet in NBA, cashed. Now, Operation Garcia struggled again. Both games went over. And I'm going to ride this out. Let me be the test case for it. I'm going to ride it out. It was nice we got up 6.6K because it allowed us to take some L's if it didn't work out. Also, there's been talk about how the unders are cashing earlier in the series and overs are cashing later in the series, and that's playing a part in Operation Garcia as well. So, we're going to go over all of that. It's great to see all you guys. Gerald Jones in the house, ready to get to work. There's Jess Boy, ready to go. Lee Davis's big weekend on tap, fellas. There's Slatsy. Played Leafs to win the series before Game 6 at plus 325. Think I will stick with it as a big Panthers future holder. I'm loving this series. Yes, you are in business. Jeffrey Moore says, if it rains at Churchill, you can know right now I will have some amount on Mystic Dan. Mystic Dan's very good, very dangerous, and there's going to be rain. Right now, the track is sloppy. It's not raining at this moment, so we're going to be studying the track and whether lead's holding very, very closely. There's a lot of money to be made. Jeffrey Moore, Sharon Pulliam, Billy Friedrich. I love it, Billy. There's my guy, Wine Time Sports. My dude, Frank Virginia, says Bruins played like dog shit. I can't wait to talk about the series with Bobano. The Nuke Worker says 12 hours of straight drinking as well. Yes, that will be tomorrow. I'm going to try to keep my shit together because there's a lot of work that needs to be done this evening after. And we're not going to go that late. We're just going to go to the end of Churchill. But that's still 7:15 or so. Wine Time 2-0 and 2-unit plays this week. Let's keep it going. I love it. Wine Time. Everybody should be following Wine Time Sports on X. Puts out his action every day. Just as selfless as can be. Just wanting us to beat the books. And he is doing that. Rocco Ryder says difference between watching the Canes and Rangers in the 0-0 game. Can't leave Boston 0-0 game is insane. Florida's going to crush the winner of the series. I agree. Rocco Ryder says Slat's very confident in my Panthers' future as far as their next matchup. I mean, I love my futures that are left. Oilers and Panthers, Kings and Lightning went by the wayside. But again, the Islanders make the playoffs at plus 190 and the Flyers to miss the playoffs at plus 130 ended up being a crucial. And I bet them on the same day. I bet those on the same day. They ended up being crucial money makers for my future. So I'm fine. Nothing can go wrong with NHL futures, which is a relief. We crushed NBA futures. So we're in business. We're absolutely in business right now. Mally Mal in the house. Is anyone like yes running in the first inning of the Cubs game? That's the lone afternoon action on the MLB card. J Dub ready to go. The Dapper Capper Joey Marinaccio. Troy Torrance says the problem with Operation Garcia is the totals have dropped too low. Obviously, props are a derivative of totals. Yeah, that's true. I don't think that they'll continue to stay so low. Overs have hit in back-to-back days. Overs have won 4 of their last 5. At this point, on any kind of angle like this, when you're up over $1,000, 2.5 weeks in, that's good, right? On $200 about now, it's not the 6.6 that I was up earlier. I'm gonna ride this out. Almost everybody except for one person obviously Dennis Garcia is on Operation Garcia, but only one of my friends that started with me is still on it, and I get it. Also, this life is not for everyone. So when someone's like, "Look, I don't want to keep betting every single player prop under on the board," I'm like, "Go out and enjoy your life," because this is how I enjoy mine, by betting every under on the player prop board. But go out and enjoy your life. Go walk the dog. Do you have pets? Go fucking pet an animal. I'm going to be betting every player prop on the board under. But this is the life I always wanted to live. My whole life, I wanted to live this life. And I don't think, we'll see. My expectation is that Operation Garcia will clear me $4,000, which, for some people, that's not a lot. It's a nice boost to my bankroll. That's my expectation. We'll see. We'll see how it bangs out. Proof Bets, Ross Pitts, Big Daddy Boom, Dominic Amaro says, what are your thoughts on the Kentucky Oaks? My thoughts are just FYI is the deal of the century because of not having a great start to a 3-year-old season. I think it's deal of the century. I'm singling it in my pick 4. I'm also singling. Actually, I'm going to have a nice double, legit double to fierceness. And then I'm going to take a couple other horses, but I'm off the favorite, Tarifa. And so is Razor, and I have the same 3 horses in the Oaks. But I don't know if he's as bullish as I am on just FYI. I'm bullish. Now we want to see the track condition and all of that. So we'll be talking we'll be focusing on horses here in a second. Fanatical Jim says, funny how the Leafs are performing without Matthews. I was thinking, when we talk about team sports, the NHL, you can win these big games without your superstar. In NBA, you can't. And you might be able to win one. You might be able to. But you can't be down 3-1 in a series and bring it up to a 7th game without your superstar. In NHL, you can. I don't want to get into why that is actually right now. Let's just stay focused here. All right. So great to see all of you guys. We've got a lot of work to do here. Sweetie says the UFC 301 stream will be going after the horse racing 2 on Pub Sports YouTube. Yeah. We have the UFC competition as well. UFC competition will be a $100 contest. Will be up in Adam, which is going to be a lot of fun. And we also have the Canelo fight. And Preston Ekdahl and Danny Betts broke it down. And I tailed their action. On this one. I took Canelo by a KO, TKO.
Can you believe that guy, by the way? Preston barely fucking bets and then just quietly, I'm just going to throw, fucking big money on a fucking prop at plus 190. Look at that guy.
I only got plus 175, but I thought he doesn't barely bet. He makes big boy bets. He just doesn't.
He doesn't. He makes big boy bets, but it's just like, I just quietly, here's $3,000 on something. I'm like, what the fuck, this guy? It's crazy. So shout out to Preston.
And for honesty and transparency, I only put $200 on it. It's just, it's a baseball bet to me right now, even though we're starting to run better in baseball. And I would like to move that to 250 here in a second. But I did tail it, and the video is up on our YouTube homepage. I'll also be tweeting it out. So I've tailed Preston and Danny Betts. I'm on the KO, TKO, or disqualification. So I got plus 175. I sent it in at plus 175. So shout out to our guys. I hope they take us to the bank here. Rodney Barton, play of the day, A's money line at -124. Let's copy and paste that. We have a lot of work to do. You guys know our Friday schedule. We start with NHL, then NBA. There's 3 games each with Bobano, and then we move into MLB with Jose Bouquett, featuring best bets from Daby Cab. And Rocco only has Avs and Panthers left as far as conference future winners. Well, let's have the Avs meet the Oilers in the Western Conference Final. Now, the Dallas Stars will have something to say about that, of course. But a Big Daddy Boom, Nordy in the house. Great to see you, Nordy. I hope you had an incredible time at Disneyland with the fam. Rocco Rogers says, I do think Rangers will beat the Canes. It will be very tough. And as far as Florida goes, let's just see if we get there. I don't think the Rangers will beat the Canes. And I can't wait for that series. Best bet New York Mets +115. Also, Knicks 12-1 to win the East is live. That's a fun one. Yeah, with Kristaps Porzingis, a China doll. It's funny, these investments made in these China dolls. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, these investments made in, it's very questionable. Very, very questionable. The Clark Edge in the house, my dude. Gerald Jones, Kong Clip says, I'm actively trying to get razor sharp picks on Pat McAfee's show today. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that'd be monstrously huge. Thank you for doing that, Kong Clips. Thank you for fighting the good fight. Jeffrey Moore says, Stars +2200. Let's go. You're right. Mally Mal says, this life is painful sometimes. It is. It is. But the excitement and the edge that we live within, I don't know how anyone could live life without that. I don't know. It'd just be boring. Now, some people want a boring life. Some people want a quiet life. God bless them. But I want so much on the line that I have to pace back and forth shirtless drinking Kraken. To each their own. I love this shit. This shit fuels me. I wake up in the morning, pump my fist. I'm capping till 2, 3 in the morning, waking up at 6, 3 in the morning. Like this, man. Let's fucking go. That's how I wake up in the fucking morning. Who needs drugs? Who needs sex? Flip the table, smash everything. Let's fucking go. That's how I wake up in the fucking morning. Whole life on the line in February. Hey, guess what? Still have the house. Kids are still with me. Girlfriend still blows me on occasion. Nuke worker ready to go. Clint, Zero again. Nice to see you, my man. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today. Tomorrow's UFC parlay. Alessandro Costa, Mauricio Raffi. Copied and paste that. Thank you for sharing that. I have tailed Billy Friedrich in UFC, and it cashed. It was a healthy bet. Ross Pitt says, Sunny, great day. Gerald Jones, best bet in the playoffs. Magic -4. Home teams won every game in that series. We will talk about that with Bobano. God, I'm so pumped up. It's Kentucky Derby week. Whew, I can almost taste the alcohol. I'm so excited. I'm so goddamn excited. Do you have the ROI numbers for Operation Garcia? I don't over the last 2 days. It takes so long for me to fill these spreadsheets with 60, whatever. And I was like, look, I'm going to focus on horses. So I haven't added the last 2 days. I want to have 4 tracks done for each day. I'm only through 2.5 tracks on Friday, 1 track tomorrow. Like I haven't kept it up. But I'll tell you, as of 48 hours ago, I'll pull it up right now here. And last night was bad. The night before was not that bad. Operation Garcia. We've had one big winning week. Look, I bet you this. I bet you game 1 on Saturday of Wolves Nuggets will be a huge casher for Operation Garcia. So as of 48 hours ago, the ROI was 1.55%. But I had made 652 bets in 2 weeks, which is just fucking nuts. Nuke worker ready to go. Oh, nice. We got Jose's just moved on it as well. Moved on the TKO right there. Love to see it. Lee Davis says Bruins might be a bunch of cab drivers. It's nuts. Marcus Anderson in the house. Great, because we're going to be talking NHL right off the hop. Gerald Jones says vacation day. with play 3-day weekend. I love it. Slatsy, everybody ready to go. Joey Harb. There's the UFC contest and Danny Preston bets at pubsportsradio.com. Joe Yurkovich, Magic Moneyline, Mavs Moneyline. Frank Ritako says, here to make money, ready to roll. Perfect. Frank, you're leading us perfectly. Let's get it. Let's just go get it. Kadesh, all you guys, I wish I could give you all shouts out. Big Daddy Boom, Paying Your Life, Polo this, Polo that. There's our guy Sabino Anguano in the house. He's back, baby. He is back. He is back. Cons Clips, WT. Great to see KD back rolling with us. All of you guys, thank you. Foxy in the house. Leonard Porsche Jr. I love all you guys. It's great to be here. Jeff Boy saying, I love this bet life. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how anyone could do anything else, but for each their own. Paying the Life says Friday blessings coming. Let's get after it. Let's go get that cash. That's the schedule. NHL, 2 games tonight, 1 game tomorrow. We cap with Bobano. Then NBA, 2 games tonight, 1 game tomorrow. We cap NBA. Then Jose Bouquett joins us. Jose Bouquett's massive winning streak came to an end last night. Sometimes you need that little wake-up call to realize how difficult this is. Look, he's sitting here still with a 10.52% ROI on the season, which is spectacular. Let's get back to our winning ways. He's moved on a couple bets. One we're both on. He's moved on 3 bets, I believe. Let's get after it. There is our guy KD says, always listening. Let's get that cash. I love it, KD. Blessing our action with a $5 donut. I love it. WT saying, happy Friday, the great pick 6. Pura vidas from your Taormina Leche girls. I miss Costa Rica very, very much. Very, very much. Love it, Sabino. Love it. There's DJ 100 Grand in the house. Everybody's ready to rock. Let's get after it right now. Please welcome to the show, coming to us from Canada's black and yellow steel town, Hamilton, Ontario. Please welcome Mr. Ian Cameron to the show. Bobano, how are you, my friend?
Very good, Jimmy. Obviously, we've got exciting weekend. What more can you want? You got obviously the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NBA playoffs still going. It's Kentucky Derby weekend. Horses going. You gotta love it.
I love it so much. I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited. This is why we do what we do. And it's also the start of the Triple Crown. So, we got the Preakness in 2 weeks, Black Eyed Susan on the Friday. Then we have, of course, Belmont, which is going to be at Saratoga. So it's just madness and excitement. Okay, and thank you, Kadesh, for blessing our action. And there is our guy here, Billy Friedrich, says the only horse he cares about right now is his horse in today's $50 race. That is how we will close up festivities here. WT on the Orioles, -1.5. Let's get to work. Bobano. We start with the West first round, game 6, Vancouver leading the series 3-2. Canucks 23-9. They were a good road team all season long, and Nashville was not a very good home team. I doubled down after we broke everything down last night. Now, I didn't double down on one bet. I just added. So I took the Predators at -130 to win the hockey game, and I'm also on them first period at -120. At this point, we are not entirely sure, but we expect Shilovs to be in net. I do believe he's got a higher upside than Casey DeSmith. Bobano will tell us if that's being confirmed, but I expect Silovs to be in net. Saros is coming off a good hockey game. Now, you heard my breakdown yesterday, and I don't need to add it here. But this is all set up for us to hear Bobano's plan. But the key to me is the Canucks have generated 92 shots on goal. And their power play is not the power play that we remember. Now it's 15.4% in the series. Whoever wins the special teams battle wins the hockey game. You could say that about almost any playoff game. I love what we're seeing from Zadorov. I love what we're seeing from Shilovs. I love what we're seeing from JT Miller and Besser, Quinn Hughes. But Pedersen is invisible. The power play is invisible. And this is just a very, very, very close series. And I am on both teams down 3-2 to make it a 7-game series. I love the teams down 3-2 at home. I have this feeling sometimes when the team up 3-2 knows, well, we still have game 7 at home. And the home team in game 6 isn't feeling that way. So I'm not going to go over everything from yesterday's show. That's up right now. Ghoster and I's breakdown is up right now. We are here today to listen to Bobano's breakdown. So let's just quickly look at the line history. This total is at 5.5. It's a minus 115 to the under. We've had 3 cents of movement to that under. The money line here is Nashville now minus 125. There's been a move towards the Canucks today. This got up to minus 132 at midnight, at 1 in the morning. There's been a move to the Canucks that's got down to minus 123. The Canucks have more skill, but the Canucks have more demons. We're going to talk about ghosts and demons when we talk about Leafs Bruins. Here, we want to hear Bobano's take. Take it away, Bobano, Canucks Predators in Nashville, Tennessee, Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, I don't have much of a take. I'm probably staying off this game entirely. It's a very tricky game for me. I mean, I think when you look at it, I think actually, believe it or not, Vancouver's got it in them to win and end this series. But that's a deflating loss against Nashville back home, and you have a chance to wrap up a series at home. Of course, the fans haven't seen a playoff round in a long, long time, and now you got to make an unnecessary trip, and a inconvenient, I guess you could say, trip back to Nashville. And Vancouver has won 2 straight in Nashville, so that gives you the credence that maybe they can end it. But they didn't deserve to win that final game in Nashville. Of course, the game 4. I mean, that was just shocking that Nashville didn't bring that one home. They were up 3-1. Vancouver scores twice with the net empty, and then of course Lindholm wins it in overtime. To me, it's going to be difficult for Vancouver to win 3 consecutive road games here in a place like that. It is a very loud environment, Bridgestone Arena, especially at playoff time. But you're right, the special teams hasn't been great. The power play's been great. And, at some point, if the Canucks are going to emerge in this series, and especially if they're going to be any sort of threat to Edmonton in the second round, I mean, Pettersson's got to get going. I mean, it's nice that Besser's been great. Miller's had a good series. They need him on board. They do. And, Dakota Joshua has had meaningful contributions in the series, especially in game 1. I think even though his offense hasn't been there like it was late in the regular season, I like the effort we're seeing from a guy like Connor Garland, one of the smallest guys on the ice. It's Pettersson. He's got to screw in and get involved and make an impact and get his game going, because right now it's not. And you look at Nashville now, they come back with some confidence. Saros, I think, had his best game of the series in game 5. I think that's also a bit of a scary thing for Vancouver going into this game, because there's no doubt. Look, don't be fooled by shots on goal. It's one of these deals, again, where sometimes shots on goal lie to you. It's the same thing with Dallas and Vegas the other night. Shots on goal after the first 2 periods were 17-16 Dallas. Well, Dallas was dominating that game. So the shots on goal were kind of fibbing what was going on. In this series, don't be fooled that the Canucks only had less than 20 shots on goal in the last game. A lot of those shots they did have, even though it was less than 20, were just tremendous chances, high danger, grade A chances. And Saros shut the door time and time again. So I have nothing in this game, side or total. I think this was when I got close to with the draw, because we did see overtime, obviously, the last game in Nashville. So I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. It's as close as I came to making a bet, side or total, was the draw here. I could only look under the total. It's been one of those series where shots aren't getting to the net. It's been a low shot volume series. There's been lots of blocked shots. Shelovs has proven to be capable, very strong. You can't blame him for the loss the other night, at all, especially the way the second goal was just a point shot that he didn't see. So I lean under, I lean to the draw, but nothing that I have moved on.
Doubled up for me. Nashville first period and full game. And watching the Canucks lose game 5 at home and everything, all the momentum, the building was rocking. They got the 1-0 lead.
If you're wondering if Vancouver, though, is mentally weak or fragile, or you're worried about their psyche, I think if Nashville wins, you're not betting on it because of that. You're just betting on Nashville's getting their game going. Saros is playing well. They're going to eventually win a home game in this series. I don't think if you like Nashville, you should be thinking, well, I'm betting Nashville tonight because I think Vancouver's mentally fragile. What I saw from Vancouver yesterday was all positive. The fact that they were joking in practice about the fucking shirt that Shelovs was wearing. And they look loose. They look like they're still having a good time. They still feel good about where they're at in the series. I think if you like Nashville, it's not, we think Vancouver's going to fall apart. No, it's got to be, we think Nashville's got a chance still to take control and have a good home game, their best one yet in the series.
Do you think the game-tying goal by the Predators would have held up if Tocchet had have challenged it?
That's very interesting because
I don't think it would have held up.
I think you could have challenged it, but I understand the risk at that stage of the game. I don't think it was a slam dunk. I'll say that. There's no way that's a slam dunk. I think that he's winning that challenge, and I think that's kind of what he saw.
But no one saw the puck.
Yeah.
They pushed the goalie in. I was astonished it wasn't challenged myself. Astonished that it wasn't challenged. All right, well, let's roll on. For Mr. Ghoster, yesterday he gave us O'Reilly over 2.5 shots. He gave us Saros under 23.5 saves. I'm on Nashville first period and Nashville full game. -120 first period, -130 full game. God, I can't wait for tonight. I can't wait for this weekend. I can't wait. Derby, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, full MLB slate. Fuck, beautiful. I mean, this is just heaven. Let's move on to game 2 here tonight. What? I can't fucking wait for this game. I'll be downstairs alone. Of course, that also helps a lot. Alone. I'm going to be capping the horses, watching 2 very interesting games. West first round, game 6, Dallas leading the series 3-2. It's unfortunate that you didn't get rewarded for your belief in the Stars. You took them for bigger scores with game 1 in the series. That is too bad here because they've shown a ton of heart and a ton of character.
I did bet him actually after game 3 when they finally got that first win against Vegas. I took an adjusted series price on Dallas. So that's pretty good. We're in good shape with that.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. And Gavin Henry, our guy, Gavin Henry, this is must copy and paste. He is a trainer of thoroughbreds down in Jamaica at the beautiful horse track down there, which we've all talked about. There will be a meetup at Gavin's track in Jamaica at some point over the next 10 years. I can promise you that. We are going to meet up in Jamaica. Our guy, Gavin Henry, has one for us tomorrow. He is very, very sharp, very skilled horseman. Trackmate in the 10th at Churchill Downs. Thank you, Gavin. Man, I love it. This is very interesting that Sammy Culmer is saying here. And WT going to send the live feed from the Jungle Bar of the. I love that, WT. I love that. Sammy Culmer says, don't understand why Dallas has been a slight fave in all 3 games in Vegas. It has scared me. That's what it's done. It has scared me. And it's put me in this situation where I have yet to make a bet on the series other than the draw and the under last game. I was just scared. If you watch this series, and, Bobano talked about the 17-16 shot total, not really explaining the situation. There's no room 5-on-5, and these power plays are scoring 1 out of every 3 opportunities. So it's a wildly fascinating situation here. And I am tired of being uncomfortable with the Stars being slight favorites. I believe that the championship pedigree will show up here. You heard our breakdown yesterday. Gokster's on the over 5.5. He got that -114. I thought about taking the Knights on the -1 line. I scrapped that. There's no need for that. I was planning on taking the Knights money line and the draw. That was my first draw of the season that I bet, and I'm fine with it. It was 3-2 going in, and so I was in that situation where the only thing I didn't want to have happen, because I was on the under 6. The only thing I didn't want to have happen is Dallas score, because then it's the push on the under 6, and I lose the draw. So it was Vegas score or no goal, and it worked out for me. BJ's got his action in. Nate Dogg, Vegas money line, leaning over and leaning draw. So you heard my breakdown yesterday. I am on the Vegas Golden Knights. I believe their championship pedigree will step up. I think that Aiden Hill will be better. I like the move from Aiden Hill from Logan Thompson. I think that made sense. Now it's a little touch and go. Now Ottinger is stepping up. He's now tied with Beaupre. We talked about that yesterday. 5th in franchise history with a 16th playoff victory. The Stars win series when they're in this situation. 13 of 15 series. They win when they win the game 5. This is very different than last year's series. We talked about that. Remember, Vegas was in complete control of that series, was up 3-0 and then won it in 6. Championship pedigree for me here. Championship pedigree for me. This is sitting at -103 right now. When I moved on it at 365 yesterday. It was a better line at 365 than it was over at Pinnacle. That has changed. This became plus 101 during our show yesterday. It became plus 101. It was plus 101 this morning. There's been a 4-cent move back to Vegas, but still there's been a slight move towards the Dallas Stars. And on the total, I don't want unders, full game unders in elimination games. And we've watched Bobano so effortlessly and easily cashing these third period overs in these elimination games. But remember, the only way to cash those is the team that's about to be eliminated has to be losing. This total is at 5.5. It's at 5.5 plus 104 to the under, minus 117 to the over. Gokster moved on at minus 114 yesterday. You could have got it at minus 112 today, but it's now up at minus 117. There's been a 5-cent move in the last hour and a half. Take it away, Bobano, Dallas, Vegas.
Yeah, this is great. This whole series has been fantastic, I think. Fantastic series. But I think if you break this series down period by period and you evaluate who's won each period in this series, who's won more periods in this series, Dallas has won more periods in this series. Game one was an unfortunate result for them because I thought they outplayed Vegas. Vegas was better in game two, so there's nothing wrong with that. Vegas deserved to win game two. They did. Game three obviously was all Dallas except for the third period. Other than that, they dominated. That could have been 5-0 if not for Logan Thompson. Game four, Dallas again, the better of the two teams, especially in the opening two periods before Vegas made a third period push. Game five, Vegas won at least two of the three periods. I think Vegas, quite honestly, is running out of gas. I do. And I don't know if Pietrangelo's 100%. Now, in fact, I'm convinced Alex Pietrangelo's not 100%. He's playing through something. He has not had a great series. He did a totally undisciplined penalty the other night. Marchessault's been quiet since the first two games of the series. They're not getting much punch. Where's your William Karlsson? Where's your Nick Waugh? Where's these guys for Vegas that have stepped up in the past? You haven't seen it. I'm not with you here. I think Dallas ends it tonight. I think they're the better of these two teams. I'm not betting against a goalie that hasn't given up a goal in the third period in this series either, in Jake Ottinger at all. I think Dallas wants to pay back. Vegas humiliated them last year in Dallas in the closeout game. It wasn't even a game. It was just complete and utter dominance. I think the focus is there. Yeah, let's not. You talked about Dallas is going to sit on their laurels that they got game 7 in their back pocket. I don't think they will. I think they go to Vegas thinking, let's end this shit tonight. They destroyed us in our building. Let's end their season in their building here tonight in this game. So the only question is, I don't know if I don't need to be on Dallas here. I'm on Dallas in the series, pre-series. I bet an adjusted series price. But for the sake of the show, I will put Dallas money line on my card here tonight. So at minus 108 at Pinnacle, I like that. I think they can close it out. They've been a great road team. Like 1A, 1B, I believe, with Florida, as far as the best road team in the NHL this season, Dallas. I have no feelings that, hey, I'm worried for Dallas that they can't close it out on the road. Yes, they can. I think Vegas is running out of steam. I think they've got the better goalie. I don't trust Adin Hill. Adin Hill last year, great. Adin Hill this year, I don't trust. Didn't have a good regular season. I don't think he's playing well. I don't think he was great in the last game. Necessarily. Ottinger outshone him in the third period. So, yeah, I think Dallas ends it tonight. So we'll go with Dallas minus 108. I agree with Gokster. I like over. We're due to finally have some goals in this series. And look, expected goals were off the chart there in game 4. At 3-2, it's a tough beat if you hit the over because that thing was 2-2 after the first period. So elimination game 2. So if Vegas is down in the third period, you have a chance for some explosions of goals late. So over 5.5 here, minus 118. Here at Pinnacle. And I do have a couple props too. This is the game where I'm high volume on the show today. Wyatt Johnston goal, not just a point. I'm going with Wyatt Johnston goal here at plus 195 at Pinnacle. And this guy does a lot of his damage, quite honestly, on the road. I think he does more of his production on the road. So I'm actually going to go goal and point prop. Give me the point prop too, minus 140 at FanDuel for Wyatt Johnston. This kid's amazing. I think he's even better on the road. So I'm on Wyatt Johnston point minus 140, Wyatt Johnston goal plus 195. And I'm also going to take Wyatt Johnston over 3.5 shots on goal, which is plus 107 at the score bet. he has been shooting the puck a lot, especially as I mentioned how he's been even better on the road. He's been shooting the puck even more on the road as well. He's had games in this series where he's had 8 shots on goal, 6 shots on goal. The shot attempts seem to be, 4, 5, 6 per game. So, we're all about Wyatt Johnston tonight. This guy's amazing. I think he's already eclipsed the likes of, Robertson, Hintz, some of these guys on Dallas as maybe their best offensive player. That's how good he's been this season. That's how good he's been lately. So, Wyatt Johnston, goal point, shots on goal over, Dallas minus 108, over 5.5. There we go.
I love it. 5 spots for Bobano, correlated with Gokster on the over 5.5, correlated with Slatsy on backing the Dallas Stars. And I cannot wait to watch this hockey game. I cannot wait. And, there's times where Bobano and I are heads up, and it just adds an extra layer of fun and interest to the hockey game. And it's going to be great. And again, I lean towards a championship pedigree. And the fact that Wyatt Johnston is the Stars' best player is not a good thing to me. That a 20-year-old could be so much better. It's not a good thing. Now, you could frame it how great.
Jason Robertson finally played well the other night, but they need that every night from him. And they're going to need these guys to be even better if they're going to beat Colorado and go beyond. Yeah, no doubt.
It's going to be fun, and we'll see who comes out the victor in Game 6. And I can't wait. We move on to the lone Saturday hockey game here. And it is a big one. And everything you read and everything you hear about this series, it's all about ghosts. All about ghosts. You have a team in the Leafs who get eliminated by the Boston Bruins. This is their 4th Game 7 against the Bruins since 2013. And they haven't beaten the Bruins in a series since 1959. You have a Bruins team that can't seal the deal in the playoffs. Ever since they lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup to the St. Louis Blues, there's been this weird thing hanging over this hockey team. And now you don't have Bergeron to lean on. You don't have Krejci to trust. And Pasternak is nowhere to be found. Marchand is stepping up. McAvoy's playing well. But there's question marks around the Boston Bruins. And the performance over the last 2 games has been nothing short of mind-boggling. Watching Boston not fire at home and then have 1 shot through 27 minutes of action against the Leafs was absolutely appalling. Absolutely. I was beside myself watching how bad they were playing against a vulnerable Leaf squad, missing their 69 goal scoring superstar, and earlier in the series missing their 98-point Willie Nylander superstar. It's just shocking to me. Let's break this game down. Game 7 series tied at 3. Maple Leafs were a really good road team all season long, and they're playing like they're not afraid of the Boston Bruins. And who do we thank for that? You think Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi. Domi winning the first 7 faceoffs in Game 5 in Boston set the tone. This is a different Leafs team than what we've seen in the past. The superstars are still hard to find. Now, Nylander was exceptional last night. We know he's a top-level offensive forward, but it's the role players that have stepped up for this hockey team. And Nyes is being spectacular. And, he's a role player now. In 3 or 4 years, he won't be. He'll be, a first-line star. Joseph Wall has been unbelievable. He has so much confidence. Swayman has so much confidence as well. The first period under 1.5 was the easiest casher I've ever seen. And you guys know that I'm very nervous about going back to the same bet the following game. And I did it with confidence. There's no room. There's no offense. Now, that can change.
And there's 2 great goalies, not just good, great goalies right now. Swayman and Woll, since he's been in there. Yep.
0.86 goals against average for Wall. 964 save percentage for Woll. Swayman has a 1.60 goals against average, 947 save percentage. the Leafs power plays at 5% and their penalty killings at 60%, and yet it's 3-3 in this series. So Toronto lost in 2013, 2018, and 2019 in game sevens. They were outscored 17-9 in those 3 game sevens. And here we have Boston last year being up 3-1 against the Panthers, and the Panthers coming back in the same fashion that the Leafs are doing right now. Matthews, no one knows what the hell's going on. It's obviously way more than just a sickness, but he was on the ice for 4 minutes in the morning skate prior to game 5 on Tuesday. So he's been skating alone. He was working out at Scotiabank Arena on Thursday morning, yesterday morning alone. Willie Nylander, with confidence, is one of the most dangerous players easily in the league. He's a top 5 danger. And right now, in the first period, when you need to establish your momentum and your want, the Bruins have been outshot 23-3 in the last 2 first periods. I mean, I don't know how Jim Montgomery is handling himself. I don't know how I wouldn't be able to handle it. Then we have Wall. Joseph Wall played for Boston College from 2016 to 2019. We talked about this 2 days ago. He loves rowdy crowds. He loves TD Garden. It's his favorite arena in the world. He talks about how excited he is. He said that game 5 was the time of his life. Pasternak, nowhere to be found. Montgomery said, your best players need to be your best players this time of year. I think the effort is tremendous. They need to come through with some big-time plays and big-time moments. Marchand has done this throughout the series. Pasternak needs to step up. And then Montgomery about their team not showing anything in the first period. He said, it's unacceptable. Our start again is unacceptable. We have to find a way to start on time. Toronto, they're starting on time. They're getting the advantage. They're getting the momentum, but it shouldn't take us that long. In the past, I would be all over the Bruins here. But now we got 2 teams with ghosts. Which ghosts do you believe in more? Which the pressure now is on Boston? It's not on Toronto. They've been playing the series without Matthews, started the series without Nylander. They've proven themselves. Keith probably kept his job. Treliving probably kept his job. Shanahan probably kept his job. These ass clowns. I'm on the first period under 1.5. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Can't wait to hear your breakdown. East first round, game 7, Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins, TD Garden, 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, what a fascinating game. I mean, Boston's 6 straight losses in series clinching games. Toronto, 5 straight losses in game 4, 5 straight losses in game 7s. I mean, there's ghosts on both sides. There's demons on both sides. There's skeletons in the closet on both sides. I mean, it's just incredible. Toronto's never won a game 7 in Boston. 3 Boston game 7 losses the last decade, but Boston has lost 6 straight series clinching games, choked a 3-1 lead away last year against Florida, on the verge of doing so again for the 2nd straight year. That's why we watch these games. It's a must watch. I mean, it's fascinating. Someone's going to, shake off some demons here. The question's going to be, which team will it be? I can't lay a price with Boston, though. That much I know. I can't lay a price with Boston. I mean, this series is getting away from them. Jim Montgomery is panicking a little bit. I mean, he just ripped David Foster, not ripped him, but he called him out in front of the media last night. That's either going to be a brilliant move if Pastrnak has a hat trick and they win game 7, or it's going to be a total backfire if they look as putrid as they've looked the last 2 games and come out as poorly as they did to start games. That's where the issue has been. They have been awful to start these last 2 games. The first period has been terrible for Boston. They were very fortunate it was no score after the first period last night. And then, of course, the bad first period in game 5 against Boston. So with the team starting games that bad, with the demons around their neck, and look, Boston's track record in these game 7s at home has not been good. So if you make me choose, I would take Toronto plus 120 before I take Boston here in this game. But this is another one. I haven't moved on anything yet. I can't take an over, even though it's an elimination. I love my elimination game overs, but you noticed I'm not on the elimination game over in Nashville tonight. I'm not on the elimination game over here in Boston, because in these 2 series in particular, shots are not getting to the net. They're just not at a high volume. The goaltending here has been great. There's not much room out there. You can say the same thing to Vancouver and Nashville. I think there's more room with Vancouver and Nashville, but the shot blocking has been off the charts with Vancouver and Nashville. And if pucks are just not getting to the net, it's trouble if you like an over. So that's why I'm not on the over in Nashville tonight. It's why I'm not on the over here in Boston. The goalies are too good. There's just not enough open ice right now for either of these two teams. So right now, this is a pass for me. But man, I'm not passing on watching this game. It's going to be something else.
First period under 1.5 broke my series curse. It was just shocking to lose on my first 5 games of the series. I wouldn't be laughing if we weren't running so nice. But I'm excited. First period under 1.5. It's a smash and grab.
That's probably a good look. Yep.
How could it go wrong? Boston scores in the first.
That's an even better look than the full game under in this particular game because it's game 7. And what if someone does get up by a goal or two in the third, and then there's pulling the goalie, and there could be all kinds of goals in that scenario. But you avoid that with the first period under. Look for that tight, cagey start. We saw it in game 5. We saw it in game 6.
I love it. I love it. That is our breakdown of Game 7. Shout out to Justin McKelvey gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. You're the man, Justin. We love you, dude. Here we go. Game 7, Leafs Bruins. It's what we want to see. It's what we want to talk about all summer. So here we go. I'm on the first period under 1.5. It is time now to move on to NBA. We got 2 games today, 1 game tomorrow. It is time to break these down. Let's roll. 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. East first round game 6. Cleveland leading the series 3-2. These Cavaliers were just 22-19 on the road this year, and the Magic were dominant at home, 29-12. The home team has won each game in the series thus far. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Take a look at the cash flow as well. When we get to the line history, we're going to be using Pinnacle line moves, and we have Orlando at -4 at -109. Opened up at 3.5, now at -4, -109. These lines make sense. We talked about yesterday. Both Troy and I came in with the plan on betting the Sixers until we saw the 3 and the 3 not move. A year or 2 ago, I wouldn't have flipped. Now I flip. I had TJ track me 2 years ago about the spots where I would have needed to flip. I hit 67%. I would have hit 67% if I had flipped. I was very comfortable flipping to the Knicks yesterday. Very comfortable. Here we have a 4. That makes sense to me. I don't feel like they put out a number where they're, knowing they're going to get a ton of action on one side, which the books knew they were going to get a ton of action on the Sixers at the 3. This total is at 201. 201. They're not giving me the line history for some reason on Pinnacle, so let's move over to Bet Online line history, and they're not giving me that either. I don't know why, but it's sitting right now at 201. This opened up at Bet Online at 202. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 45% of the tickets and 70% of the cash on the Orlando Magic. The line's not moving. I mean, a half-point move, I guess you could say, is something. 56% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the over. This is moving towards the under. We talked about the surprising pace in this one. 94.4 possessions a game, the second fastest pace in any series in the NBA this year. And that surprised me. I did not expect that. Both teams are shooting miserably from 3. Cleveland, 28.7%, Orlando, 30.7%. Both teams ugly from the field, 43 and 44.3 respectively. So Cleveland has not won a playoff series since 2018. And Orlando would be playing their first Game 7, if they can win here, since 2009. In Game 5, Spider went for 28. Mobley stepped up and blocked Wagner's layup in the final seconds. Paolo Banchero was spectacular. The big story was Jared Allen's bruised rib. He practiced Monday, was on the injury report before being ruled out. Then Bickerstaff used Isaac Okoro in the starting lineup. He looked very good. And Max Strus put up 16. He stepped up. Mobley was great. Marcus Morris Sr. came off the bench and delivered toughness and all the things that we've seen from him in the past. Banchero, 14-24 from the field, 8 boards. This is a young basketball team. Now they have Slow-Mo Joe out there. That helps. He's 36. They have Gary Harris, 29. But they only had 4 players, the Magic, with postseason experience. And it's important to have postseason experience. And Banchero, 21 years old. Wagner, 22 years old. With everything on the line, can you trust these guys to deliver? That is the question. Frank Ritacco on Magic -4 with a big bet. BJ's on the Orlando Magic. Troy Torrance says this reminds me of what you said when the Mavs were at home in Game 4, when everyone gives up on a team and nobody wants them. Let's hear what Bobano has to say about this. Game 6 at 7 p.m. Eastern this evening. Take it away, Cavs Magic.
Yeah, I think the series is like, even though Orlando's down 3-2 and they're facing elimination, I think Orlando's getting more and more confident, as this series is going on after being down 2-0. They were in firm control of Game 3 and of Game 4. Game 3, I expected them to blow out Cleveland. What I did not expect was them to blow out Cleveland again in Game 4. I thought Cleveland would have a better response in them after going down 2-1. But then they got both games at home, another blowout win in Game 4. And for them, they could have won in Cleveland in Game 5. There's no doubt the more I watch this series, the more I think Orlando feels like we've got a real chance here in this series to not only win tonight, but if this gets back to Cleveland for Game 7, we showed we could just about almost win there, and we could compete there finally. So I think there's real belief still with this young group, even with the disappointment of losing that Game 5 in Cleveland. I have no reason to doubt them at home. They have a phenomenal home record, coming into 32-12, something like that this year at home. The Orlando Magic, Cleveland was not non-competitive, in the 2 previous home games. So I like Orlando here, but I'm doing something a little different here with the 2 games tonight. We're going to put Orlando money line in a 2-game parlay with, it should be obvious. It'll be with the next game we're going to talk about. Yeah, I like Orlando to win, force a Game 7. I don't know. There's something about -4 I'm not totally comfortable. I do have a piece of the -4, but I like the money line parlay option instead. Orlando is one of a money line parlay piece for me.
The total dropping, continuing to drop with 90% of cash on the over. We saw overs last night and the night before. 4 of our last 5 playoff games have gone over. Do you find it disconcerting for overbettors that there's 90% of the cash and this is dropping? You're not on it. I find the under appealing. Wine time talking about the under. What do you think of this total?
Well, that and, last game was 207. It went over, but it needed, heroic offensive performance from Banchero, among others. I don't think it's going to be quite that easy offensively for Orlando. More than anything, this is a Cleveland offense that's been pathetic here in Orlando. Game 3 and in Game 4, Cleveland was brutal as far as their offensive game is concerned. Orlando completely shut down the Cavs, in both games in Orlando. So I'm not sold on Cleveland's offense working all that much better here in Orlando for the 3rd time in this series in this building. So I do agree. I think, after over last game, the number, being close to where it was, I think it's an under spot. I would agree with that.
Do you expect Jared Allen to be in the lineup?
The NBA, you never know, but we'll have to wait and see. I think he will be, but I'm not totally confident on that.
BJ on the Magic. BJ been delivering in the playoffs, crushed last night. I'm interested in this under. A coin on the first half under and the full game under. I'm interested. Now, the player props that I'm on, I'm not going to bet until the Jared Allen announcement. Just like I did, yes, I had to wait. I had a 6:15 p.m. I took Ellen Carter to the playground. I had to get all my action in for the player props. I needed to wait to know, what was. We knew that Giannis probably wasn't going to play by 3:00, but then Dame was going to be in. They had props up, then they pulled them, they put them back out. Okay, Bobano is using the Magic as part of a money line parlay. I'm extremely interested in the under. Coin on it. Maybe I think coin might be enough for me to move on it. I want to talk to Wine Time about it. I want to talk to others about the under, but I'm interested. Okay, we move on to Game 2 this evening, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West first round, Game 6. We have the Mavs up 3-2, coming home to finish this off. This pace is being played at 92.4 possessions a game. The Clippers are shooting 39.6% from three, but they came into the series. They came into Game 5 shooting 44%, I believe it was. I could pull it up, but they were awful from three at home in a very, very important game. Sancho saying bye-bye Clippers. Dallas has not been shooting well from three, and it's mainly Luka. He's shooting 26.3% from three. He's 15 of 57 from three-point range here. And he's playing hurt, but he's playing with a lot of heart. And you also get the feeling that him and Kyrie really like each other. You know, it's taken some time for them to really, really enjoy being on the court together and believing that they can beat any team in the league. This total is sitting here at 208.5. Oh, that's what it is. Sorry I've got everything now for the line history. Open up at 207.5, now at 208.5. We have a 1 point move to the over. And just to go over what Pinnacle had done there, it's gone up a half point, this total, but it did get down to 199.5, down to 198.5. We see this on every single total this week. Every single total. The line comes out, the so-called sharps move it towards the under. I shouldn't even say so-called sharps. The early action moves it towards the under, and then the overbettors come in and smash it towards the over. Every single game has done this. From a point spread scenario here, we are sitting with Dallas at -8 and -102. There's a lot of 7.5s on the board. This opened up at 7.5 at Pinnacle, and it moved to 8. It took about 12 hours for that to happen, maybe 10 hours for that to happen. And now it's at 8. It's juiced to the Clippers at -108. Let's get into the cash flow then for this spot. We have 78% of the tickets and 96% of cash on the over. On the spread, we have 12% of the tickets and 48% of the cash on the Clippers. I clearly left money on the table in that Game 5 spot. We had BJ all over Dallas, and Clint Zerlgan saying that he thinks Allen is out. So Troy Torrance says this one is a Mavs win Clips cover type of spot. So here we go. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Luka, 20 of his 35 in the second half. He's averaging 30.2, 9.2, and 8.8. The only basketball player in NBA history to average over 8 points and 8 assists, over 8 rebounds and 8 assists in the playoffs. That's crazy. Maxi Kleber hit 5 threes. You need those role players to step up, and that worked. So now Dallas has a chance to win just its third series since winning the title in 2011. Just to advance in the postseason for the second time in their past 8 opportunities. Crazy. Now, we talked about Zubac looking very good offensively. Saturated came in and said he looked poor defensively, which is an important point. They all just looked lethargic and didn't care in that game. Now, what do they do here? There's going to be no Kawhi. He's not going to come in and help anybody. He's not going to be, Paul George was 4 of 13, 2 of 6 from 3. Harden was 2 of 12, 1 of 7 from 3. Westbrook was horrific. And the Clippers shot 37.9% from the field and were 9 of 35 from 3. That makes me want them early. It really does. It makes me want them first quarter. I mean, or Paul George is just a player that has character, and Harden can get hot. And like Troy says, when
I don't think he has character. Did you hear that fucking shit he said last night, Paul George? That's not character. That's not a bet on quote to me. Did you hear what he said?
Can you
quote
quote
what
it?
He said, "We can go out there, and if we fail, we fail. So what? Oh what? Oh well." That's not a bet on quote.
That's not a bet on quote.
What the hell are you doing saying something like that last night? TNT ripped him. Shaq and Chuck Barkley.
But everybody shit on LeBron for saying it's just basketball.
Yeah.
What LeBron was saying was, I don't feel extra pressure. Everybody took it with him. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck, whatever. But Paul George is saying the same thing. He doesn't feel a ton of pressure. He doesn't feel pressure. There's no pressure on him.
I don't
it's
want to
just
hear that going into an elimination game. I just don't need to hear that.
What did you think of what LeBron said? It's just basketball.
Well, that was bad too.
And he came and delivered in Game 4. Delivered. The team delivered.
Well, that's LeBron James. This is Paul George. Big difference. Yeah.
Is there that big of a difference?
I don't look at Paul George as this big time clutch guy.
I don't look at LeBron as a big time clutch guy. Do you?
More than Paul George. You're right. There's LeBron's definitely had, his moments where he's disappeared, but he's at least had some moments where, the teams needed him. He's been there.
these guys
George,
are not hockey players. They don't talk like hockey players. So if we have the expectations of them to talk like hockey players, you're always going to think, oh, this guy doesn't care. What they're saying is there's not pressure on them, in my estimation. And it's fair. It's fair to dislike what they're saying. But when everybody shat on LeBron, I was like, you guys are misreading this. He just doesn't feel pressure. Whereas a hockey player would be like, everything's on the line for us. We got to look each other in the eye. It's just different. But it's fascinating and interesting. Take it away, Bobano. Your thoughts here in Game 6, American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. For me, it's Dallas, the other part of the parlay. So we got Dallas money line with Orlando. It's plus 110, by the way, for both of them at Pinnacle. So Orlando and Dallas money line parlay. I think it's over tonight. I'm not comfortable, though, laying 8. I will say that. I'm not totally comfortable laying 8 points with Dallas off a big blowout win. But I don't know what the Clippers have left. Kawhi's out again. They got totally destroyed by Dallas. And Dallas hasn't even shot the basketball, as you said, all that great in this series. What if Dallas has a night where Kyrie and or Luka or both go off at the same time? Clippers won't have a chance, in my opinion, if that happens. This could be one of those nights where both of them get their game at that level at the same time. And to me, if that happens, it's going to be trouble for the LA Clippers. Maybe the Clippers start off strong, because of that blowout loss. That wouldn't shock me. But it's also why I like, plus 120 at Bookmaker. Thank you, Billy. We'll take that instead with the parlay. But yeah, I think Dallas does win it. I don't have to worry about margin going this route. And like I said, I also don't think that the Orlando game necessarily is going to be a runaway for Orlando. So that's why I decided, we'll put them together. Moneyline parlay, Magic and Mavs, plus 110.
I love it. Plus 120.
Plus 120,
right
yeah.
now.
Plus 120, yeah.
I love it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I mean, it's when talking heads say, oh, well, what about this, what about that? And then they just say, don't do anything about it. I mean, who gives a fuck? So I'm going to bet Clippers first quarter and, put my money where my mouth is.
That's probably the spot to bet them. Yeah. If they don't show up in the first quarter, they're done.
That's true. All right, let's roll on. We have our rants looking to talk MLB. We're very close to MLB. We have a giant Saturday basketball game that we want to break down here on Pub Sports Radio. Saturday, May 4th, West semifinals, Game 1. Minnesota Timberwolves 56-26, 26-15 on the road. Denver Nuggets 57-25, 33-8 at home. And we're at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. There has been enormous amounts of love for the Timberwolves wherever you look in this series, and the futures market will share that feeling. It's very, very interesting. Troy joined us yesterday. Troy Torrance, he moved on the Wolves first half and the Wolves full game. Minnesota dominated their first round series against the Suns, shot 47.7 from the field, 36.6 from three. That was run at 95.25 possessions a game. Denver beat up Lakers team that would have taken out the Suns, in my estimation, comfortably. 46.3 from the field and just 30.8% from three. Jamal Murray's not shooting the ball well as he hurt. We're going to touch on that. And we have history. Denver eliminated Minnesota last year very easily. What was the difference? Well, one, Gobert and Cat have another year to get comfortable with each other. Anthony Edwards has had another year to show he's an absolute superstar. And Jaden McDaniels did not play in that series. And we know what he can do defensively. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Saturday, May 4th. We are sitting here with Denver minus 4.5 at minus 113. They opened up at minus 5. It lasted there for about just under 5 hours, and it moved to 4.5. It is juiced to the Denver Nuggets at 4.5. Now, it wasn't. This was a flat pick 'em. In fact, the 4.5 was juiced to Minnesota, around midnight, and it's changed this morning to juiced towards these Denver Nuggets. This total is sitting here in Game 1 at 208 at Pinnacle. We saw a lot of unders in the first half of the playoff series in the first round and overs in the second half. This opened up at 209 and dropped to 208. And it moved from 209 to 208.5 in about the same amount of time as it moved from 5 to 4.5 in this one. about 4.5 hours, a little under 5 hours. From a cash flow standpoint, we have a lot more. No, I guess not that many more. Now we're at 4,000 tickets, so we're starting to get a sense of what's going on here. And the 16% of the tickets are on the Denver Nuggets, just 16%, but 58% of the cash is on them. On the total here, we have 53% of the tickets on the over and 96% of the cash on the over. Let's set this up for Bobano. Denver and Minnesota split their 4 regular season meetings. We know Denver has the second best home record in the NBA at 33-8. In the first round, they won all their 3 games at home. And when these teams matched up in last year's first round, the Nuggets shot 38.9% from 3. If the Nuggets shoot over 35% or 36% from 3, they're going to win this series. The thought process is Denver couldn't shoot well from 3 against the Lakers. They're not going to be able to shoot well against a team that can defend the perimeter like the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the Nuggets winning their first round series, they're the 4th reigning NBA champion to reach the conference semifinal in the past 5 years. The problem is not one of those teams have passed the semifinal round. None of them. The 2022-23 Warriors lost to the Lakers in 6. The 2021-22 Bucks lost to the Celtics in 7. The 2019-20 Raptors lost to the Celtics in 7. And the 2021 Lakers didn't even make it out of the first round. Is Jamal Murray healthy? He's not shooting the ball well. He's dealing with some sort of a calf issue. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is dealing with an ankle issue. The 4 days rest between their closeout and the game here, crucial, absolutely crucial. It couldn't have helped this team. This is a team that desperately needed it. Jamal Murray was not just bad from 3, he was bad from 2. Now he's clutch. We know he's an assassin when it comes down to the games on the line.
Bad except for game-winning, series-winning shots to rip the heart out of the Lakers.
Yeah. Well, we know he's an assassin. We know he handles pressure better than anyone, but he shot 40% from 2 against Minnesota this year.
Yeah.
And so he was held to fewer than 20 points in both head-to-head meetings on the road. Jaden McDaniels can defend. Who is Jaden McDaniels going to defend here? Is he going to be on Jamal Murray? Is he going to be on Michael Porter Jr.? Are they going to wait to see who's hot and then decide whether they're going to defend him? This is a front court that could give Jokic problems because it's not just Kat, it's not just Rudy, it's 6th man of the year Naz Reid.
Yep. Lots of size to throw at that guy. Lots of size. Get him off the spot. 100%. Yep.
And, is Aaron Gordon going to have Naz? There's so many options here for Chris Finch, who just ruptured his patellar tendon. Is that going to mess with him here? They say that the surgery went well. He's coming later than the team to this one. We've talked all about this series, and we haven't got to the superstars yet. And you can't yet. We talked about Naz Reid, 6 man year. Look at what Nickeil Alexander-Walker's done in this series. 12.3 points per game in the first round. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was a plus 59 in that first round series. I mean, that is unbelievably good.
Just another great Canadian basketball player. What can I say?
So we haven't talked about Jokic and Ant. We know Jokic is the best player in the league, and Ant is the league's next superstar. And averaged 31.6 against the Nuggets in last year's first round matchup. We know he's going to deliver. Here we go. Game 1 of the West semifinals, Timberwolves Nuggets. Bobano, take it away.
So what do we know here? We know Minnesota got off to a red-hot start in the first round, swept away Phoenix, although Denver's obviously going to be much tougher, much better. What do we know about the Denver Nuggets based on what we saw against the LA Lakers series? They're perfectly content easing their way and dipping their toe in the water when it comes to games, and in particular a series. We saw it against the Lakers. Game 1, slow first start, sluggish first half. Game 2, slow start, sluggish first half. Game 3, slow start, sluggish first half. Game 4, slow start, sluggish first half. Game 5, of course, slow starts as well, sluggish first half. Then they turned it on. That's been Denver. 0-5, by the way, against the spread in the first half, against the LA Lakers. They don't mind coming out slow, getting a feel for the opponent, and then turning it on in the third quarter and especially in the fourth quarter. And meanwhile, you got a Minnesota team that knows they can, I think, play with this team. It's chomping at the bit for redemption after what happened last year in the playoffs. That, as you mentioned, Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, they have a much better defensive lineup to deal with the likes of Murray and Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. On this Denver Nuggets team. So for Minnesota, you saw them come out ready. Chris Finch had them ready in game one. They got the job done. Now that was at home, obviously against Phoenix, and this is on the road. But I like what I saw from the Timberwolves on the road in the Phoenix series. They could have been up 2-0 and let Phoenix right back into the series and hold serve on their home court, and that did not happen. So to me, the obvious move, it's the clear move in my opinion. It's the move I've made in this game is Minnesota first half. Minnesota first half +3, minus 115 at Pinnacle is what I'll lock in. And I think it's a great bet. I think Timberwolves come out strong. Denver has had these slow starts time and time again. In the Lakers series, a Laker team that's nowhere close to as good as the Minnesota Timberwolves team that they are going to face here in the second round. So I think they've got a damn good chance to win the game too, but I think the first half is the stronger look. I don't want to screw around full game as much because what if Denver turns on the afterburners, especially at home, which they've done time and time again, and they come back and they find a way to win. I would definitely lean Minnesota full game, but I definitely think that the first half with the Minnesota Timberwolves is the best look here in this game. To have that fast start, Denver 0-5 ATS in the playoffs in the first half to this point. So Minnesota +3, minus 115 first half.
I'm very interested in the under in this one. I'm going to watch the market right now. Overs have been hitting, and obviously I'm going to have all the player props on the under, which is basically an under bet. But I'm very, very interested in the under. I do think that when teams are sort of feeling themselves out and figuring out, it just feels like defense comes to the forefront early in the series before the offense figures out how to exploit the defensive plan of the opposition. And maybe that's simplifying things too much, but it certainly worked in the first round. And you could say that this is the perfect scenario because we've had overs hit last night, and 4 of the last 5 have been overs. And if you were planning on betting an under, you would probably want overs tonight as well. So I wonder when I should move on this. We got Nutflush Allen.
Well, it makes sense. Minnesota's a better defensive team than the Lakers. There's no doubt. And Denver's going to figure that out. Denver's a very solid defensive team themselves when they're locked in too.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Minnesota offensively and Anthony Edwards can take over, but Phoenix was brutal defensively. Brutal. So there's no question by default Denver's going to be a better defensive challenge for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Neither team pushes pace. Neither team plays at any sort of fast tempo. There's not going to be any pace in these games between these two teams. So I would not talk anyone, out of an under in this game or unders in this series. It's probably going to be a defensive battle, more of a defensive battle than maybe some would think.
MPJ points, rebounds, and assists at Pinnacle Nutflush is 26.5, heavily juiced to the under at minus 145, heavily juiced to the under. And MPJ's points, rebounds, and assists over at Bet365 are, let's go back up here. Points, rebounds, and assists is 26.5.
I think Minnesota's very live, Jimmy, in this series. My only concern, though, is that how much of what Minnesota was awesome, totally awesome, absolutely in the 4 games. How much of that was Phoenix, though? They were so bad. They were so bad defensively, but they didn't even try at times, I felt, defensively. It was just, let's try to outscore these guys. That's how we're going to try to win. And obviously it didn't work.
All right, Steve G and the boys just hit a pick 3. I love to hear it. So it's 26.5. The importance of line shopping with player props is so crucial. The 26.5 is plus 110 to the over at Pinnacle and minus 145 to the under, while it's minus 115 each way at 365. Billy Friedrich says Michael Porter Jr. certainly won't be leaving any game unless he has a bone sticking out of his flesh. Thanks to brother Jonte. Oh, it's a horrible, horrible story. That is our breakdown for the Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets. I'm very interested in the under. I'm going to need more time to sit with it. Bobano is on the Timberwolves first half +3 at -115. Yesterday, Troy moved on the Timberwolves first half and full game. There is a ton of love for the Minnesota Timberwolves in this series, and it's going to be a lot of fun. To review Bobano's action, let's start in NHL. He is at this point off of Canucks in Nashville, and he's hammered the Stars Knights game. He's on the Stars -108. He's on the over 5.5. He's on Wyatt Johnston goal +195, point at -140, and Wyatt Johnston over 3.5 shots at +107. Ghost. Oh, we talked about that. Ghoster's on the over 5.5. Then no move for Bobano and Leafs Bruins. Again, I'm on that first period under 1.5 again. Then we have Bobano in NBA for tonight, Friday, May 3rd. He's got the Orlando Dallas Mavericks money line parlay that was available at +120 at Bookmaker. And I'm very interested in the under. And I'm going to bet Clippers first quarter. I'm going to bet Clippers first quarter. I have to kind of, I'm not going to bet that right after the show, though. I do want to see what happens with that market. Even if it goes in the direction of the Mavericks, I'm still going to bet it. I don't want to say the things I said about what I think of what Paul George said and what LeBron said and not back it up by betting it. It's just, I don't want to just sit here and fucking talk. So that is our NBA and NHL breakdown for Friday, May 3rd. Excellent work, Bobano, my friend. Please support Bobano on X. He's got a new handle, Bobano Bets, at Bobano Bets, and support the Ice Guys, whom we love dearly. Bobano, and the Cavs are down to +3.5. Lee Davis was saying that might be because Jared Allen has been announced in. Bobano, any last words here for the Capper Sport and Show?
Just, let's have a great weekend. It's a great sports weekend. It really is. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, Kentucky Derby. There's big UFC pay-per-view. I didn't even mention that when I talked about how big a weekend it was early in the show. Yeah, UFC
and the Canelo fight.
Canelo fight, yeah. Huge boxing match. Yeah, absolutely. Great weekend. Cash some tickets. Have a great one. Jimmy, we'll see you next Friday.
We will. There he is, Ian Cameron here rolling with us. It is time to talk MLB and get to the diamond. I'm very excited about this card. It's an interesting card that really needs us to attack it and break it down. I've only made one bet. I believe the Star of Baseball here on Pop Sports Radio has made 3 bets, and one of them is the same as mine. And we're going to hear all about it and break it down together. We also have best bets. We have best bets from our Dabra Cadabra. So without further ado, please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Mr. Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you, my friend?
Jimmy, I'm doing great. I regret to inform you that bet quantity has doubled.
Okay.
And that, there's going to be a lot of action here today. There's a lot of stuff I like. There's some lines that are just kind of absurd, and I'm excited to talk to you about them.
Well, let's get to work here. I'm just going over Daby's games here, and he is not part of this afternoon action. So I got to set a couple things up, and I got to cut some things here, pages that I have open. Tell us about what went wrong for us yesterday. I went 0-1. I was fortunate to get the push in my under 9 in Baltimore, New York. I couldn't help, and I know that we were not sure what Bradish was going to give us, but with that move to the Orioles, how the hell were we not on them?
I think it was just because for me personally, just because I saw it gets announced that Bradish was the pitcher, like an hour before. I needed to see more moves, but it made a lot of sense as the game or as the time went on that we should have been on them.
It just was right in our wheelhouse. I mean, it's exactly what we've been doing with great success. So I couldn't understand why that was. There's a lot of pitchers on this card, the Hayden Wesneskis, the Slade Sacconis, that are tricky to figure out. So there's going to be a lot of work that's going to go in the card, and we need everybody ready to rock and roll. Let me get this over to MLB, and let's just do one more thing here before we Fire away. Here we
Well,
go.
I'll tell you now that I do have action on the first game. I am excited to chat with you about it. We did go in 3 yesterday, and that did break a long streak of winning days consecutively. But we're still rolling nice. Not going to dwell on it, but
No.
like I said, I have a shitload of action here today, starting with this very first game.
Let's get to work and let's get that cash. We start with afternoon baseball today, 2:20 p.m. Eastern, with the Milwaukee Brewers 19-11, 12-4 on the road at the Chicago Cubs 19-13, 10-3 at home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's begin with the weather over at Wrigley. 58 Fahrenheit, 11.6 miles per hour in, between 11.6 and 8.8 mile per hour in. There's Gifted Cartel in the house. Great to see you. And Wine Time Sports is on the under 7.5 here. Sabino and Guano liking the Brewers today. Let's get into.
And shout out to Sabino again, by the way. That was electric as always. I knew they're my favorite bets. Of anyone that puts those kind of bets in, they're my favorite.
I don't want him to ever do it again. Please. That's the second time in 3 years. I don't like it. I don't want it.
It's like a once a year thing, kind of, but I love it. Inject it into my veins.
And then we'll never see him again. Please.
Well, not if he's 2-0. We can't.
Please, Sabino, never do that again. Please, never do that again. Let's talk about the line history here for this one. We know that Jose is going to be using Bet Online openers and closers. I'm going to be using Pinnacles. Anybody looking to open up a new account, if you go through our website and with our link to Bet Online, we have Bovada and MyBookie as well. But with Bet Online, they'll give you a 100% bonus up to $1,000, and it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. This opened up with the Brewers at plus 115. They're now plus 105. 5 cents of movement towards the Milwaukee Brewers. This total sitting at 7.5 minus 110 to the under. Opened up at plus 102. So we have 12 cents of movement on that under. So we have 10 cents of movement to the Brewers, 12 cents of movement on the under. From a cash flow perspective, there's 27% of the tickets and 72% of the cash on the Brewers. It's clear, sharp action on the Brewers. On the total, you have 72% of tickets and 78% of cash on the over. So if we're just, we're going to hammer this out, but if we were just focused on market alone, obviously we'd be betting the Brewers in the under. We have Joe Ross, 5.40 ERA, 1.68 whip. He got barreled up in that loss at home to the Yankees. Barreled up. 5 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks. He walks too many batters, but that was the first game where he was really barreled up. He'd been doing a nice job at getting soft contact. Hayden Wesneski on the other side of things. Who is young Hayden Wesneski? Let's go over Hayden here. Hayden was a 6th-round pick in the 2019 draft here by the New York Yankees out of Sam Houston State University. He came up with the Cubs as a 24-year-old in 2022. Through 33 innings and looked really good. 33 strikeouts and 7 walks at a 2.18 ERA. He started 4 of 6 games, 2 appearances out of the pen and 4 starts. In 2023, he came back and started 11 games, 89 in the third, and he struggled. Now his whip was still okay, but he walked too many batters. It wasn't even the walks. He allowed 20 home runs in 89 in the third. So we've seen him in 1 start, 2 bullpen appearances. He's thrown 10 in the third overall, and he's looked very good to start the year. What's the difference? He's walked 1 batter, and he has not allowed a home run. The question is, when's he going to turn into a pumpkin? Clapping Card says, tough lineup for us to handle, even though the Cubs are not raking. So here we go. And there's Jay Peasy in the house. What up, Jay Peasy? Our guy Jay Peasy in the house. I brought it back in. Let me just quickly.
Very cool gift, by the way. Yeah, I enjoyed looking at that gift as well, Jay Peasy. That was awesome.
It's very cool. Here from our guy Jay Peasy. Sorry, I don't want the lights. Let me see if I can get it without the lights. But yeah, Jimmy the Bag, a hockey stick, and a wad of cash. We have such a wonderful community, and for Jay Peasy to think of me and put that together for me meant so much to me. And I'm just very, very thankful to roll with this squad. Very, very thankful that JPZ is the first sound that you hear when you watch our shows. And I'm just, the friendships that we made are so real and they're so strong. It's so important that we meet up, yearly. But also, it just, it doesn't. when tough things happen in your life, knowing that I have this group of friends and these guys who care about me, it just means so much to me and inspires me to work harder. And I just,
doesn't it make you appreciate it more when one almost leaves us and then comes back from the grips of defeat?
Oh no, stop. I do not want Sabino to do that again. So when is Wesneski going to turn into a pumpkin? That's the question. When is he going to turn into a pumpkin?
Today.
Brewers versus righties, 270, 787 OPS. Cubs are hitting just 227, 672 versus righties. If you're looking at advantages, it's just the starting pitching that the Brewers don't have an advantage right now. The Brewers are 12-4 on the road. Now the Cubs have been excellent at home at 10-3. The Cubs bullpen is being dodgy, 4.38 ERA, 1.38 WHIP, converted 10 of 17. Brewers bullpen 3.70 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, converted 10 of 14. If Wesneski is going to turn into a pumpkin, then do we focus solely on the Brewers? Take it away, Jose Bouquett. Brewers, Cubs at Wrigley.
Yeah, I'm on the Brewers. Full game money line. I bet it. You went over the market. That's kind of like, the semi-wheelhouse. There's a big series, by the way, in this division. 1 and 2 going at it, so maybe we'll see unders in this division or in this series, just like we saw in Yankees-Orioles. But this is massive for both teams. The Brewers didn't think they'd be in this spot probably going this season. And the Cubs are the team probably, I think they were favored to win this division. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but I believe they were. So they're chasing. I don't love Joe Ross, admittedly, but give me a Brewers team that's rested a day, or their bullpen's rested a day, over a Cubs team that Hayden Wesneski's going to give us 4 innings, 5 innings, and I don't. Their bullpen's not rested because we obviously saw what happened yesterday. They went extra innings, et cetera, et cetera. So Colton Brewer hasn't thrown, Albert Alzolay hasn't thrown, and then we'll probably see Mark Leiter today. So those are 3 relievers. Those are good ones, but I still trust the Brewers. So Brewers full game for me. I got plus 106.
Why are you not on the under?
Just because I just didn't want to double up, I guess, because I have a lot of action. I have no particular reason. But the early game unders always do interest me, yes.
Plus 105 I can get right now at Penny. I think that's worth it.
Let me refresh my odds page real quick because I had this game opening up at 7.5. And I am seeing a 7 now, actually, on BetOnline. So that's interesting. But yeah, no action on the total for me. Like I said, I do agree that these early games go under. And I've had the last 2-3 days, I've had a shit time with the early games. So I'll keep my eye on it and see how that goes. But yeah, just Brewers for me.
Markel on the first 5 under 3.5. Gagnon says Cubs are starting 5 players with under 300 on base percentage. Brewers only 2 of them.
Very interesting note by Bo Jackson. Longtime Canadians broadcaster Rod Blackson plays for the Brewers. Did not know that.
Yeah, he's been climbing his way up over there. Yeah. Coin says, isn't this market moving against Milwaukee? No, I see it moving clearly towards Milwaukee with the more money and less tickets. Okay, I'm going to join you. But again, is it the exhausted Cubs bullpen? But you said those arms available are pretty good. One more time.
3 of them, yeah.
Is it just because you don't want to double up on an early game?
Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah, I would be on Brewers and under if I had to make a play. Yeah, so it's not any market reason. I do expect this game to be a lower scoring game, like we said, because of the first and second teams in the division. I think this is their first time playing this year as well. So, like I said, I do expect this to be an under game. Like I said, the only reason I'm not on it is because I'm not doubling up. And maybe I'll change my tone here in a few games, but I want to leave myself open for other games as well, I guess.
I'm going to be on both. I'm going to move on both. Let's move on. 6:10 p.m. Eastern with the Baltimore Orioles 20-11, 8-4 on the road. Cincinnati Reds 16-15, 9-7 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's get into the weather in Cincy. 70 Fahrenheit, 5 miles per hour in. Stays between 5.5 and 4.7 throughout the game. Wind, not a big deal. Get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. It's sitting at 9 minus 111 to the under. This opened up at 9 minus 113 to the over. So that's the under's gone from plus 100 to minus 111, 11-cent move in that direction. And on the money line, sorry, I'll have this set up better. I'm trying to, I'll have it set up better as we move forward. But on the money line, we have Baltimore at plus 107. They opened up at minus 113. And also, there's been a little bit of buyback, but there was a big move towards Hunter Green and the Cincinnati Reds. So this opened up at plus 105 for the Reds. They were at minus 120 an hour, 56 minutes ago. So been a little bit of buyback, but a clear move towards the Cincinnati Reds and a legitimate move towards the under. Let's take a look at, there's Ronnie Lofton in the house. Great to see you, Ronnie. Big day of horses for us. Big weekend of horses. Brewers now minus 102 now. Yeah, I'm going to get involved, Ryan. I'm going to get involved here. Ron's best bet, by the way, Cease under 6.5 Ks at minus 117. We'll talk about that spot for sure. Let me copy and paste that right now. Okay, let's talk about some X's and O's here. We have Cole Irvin going up against Hunter Green. Cole Irvin, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe he has back-to-back scoreless starts. 2-1, 3.49 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 28 and 30, 18 Ks, 7 walks, 2 homers. Last start at home against Oakland. Shut them down. 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Hunter Green coming off a spectacular start at Texas. We know that he is a very high ceiling. Orioles versus righties, and this is important. They're not hitting them. We have this idea that they're just raking, but I guess it's come to the point where we should bet the Orioles against every left-handed starter. Against righties, 236, 716 OPS. Reds aren't hitting lefties, 224, 694 OPS. Why do I have? Oh yeah, Kohler. Sorry.
I decided to not be a pussy, and I joined you on the under.
I got to bet that. So I'm going to do that when you're hammering this. Orioles bullpen 3.63 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, converted 9 of 16. The Reds bullpen, hasn't been as good, but it's not horrible. 4.02 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, and they have converted 6 of 8 save opportunities. So the Reds don't hit lefties. The Orioles don't really hit righties. The bullpens are pretty good. It's not blowing out. Maybe this is an under as well. Take it away for us here, Jose. I'm going to get my action in. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. Take it away, Orioles, Reds.
Yeah, I wanted to bet the Reds here. That line flip is interesting here, Jimmy. And I guess one more time, for my sake, did this line flip at Pinnacle as well? Because minus 115 opener for Baltimore, and now is flipped to minus 110 for the Reds here. I actually have minus 115, almost minus 120 for the Reds. Very interesting. Is that the same thing you have?
Yeah, it got up to minus 120. There's been 4 cents of buyback, but it's at minus 116 right now, plus 105 to minus 116, but did get up to minus 120.
Yeah, I think I'll end up taking the Reds here. I'll move on them right now. Like I said, I typically believe in these line flip scenarios, but 2 straight scoreless starts from Cole Irvin. I'd like to see it done again here. So one of those prove it to me starts, especially in a hitter-friendly ballpark that is Great American. And, Hunter Green's coming off of a really, really good start in his own right against the Rangers. The Rangers and Orioles, I could say, pretty comparable lineup. I think the Orioles probably have a better one. But I'll roll those dices there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking at Cincinnati against lefties this year, full game. They're 96th, they are 16th, 97 weighted runs created plus, I should say. And then for the last 2 weeks, Cincinnati is actually shit against lefties, 26th in the league, 52 weighted runs created plus, 89 plate appearances. So this is definitely another under spot here for me, it seems like, because I do think Hunter Green shuts down the Orioles. I just don't trust Cole Irvin. 3 straight back-to-back scoreless starts here. So Reds for me, full game money line.
God, I'd like
minus 116, by the way.
I would like to back the Reds and the under in this one. I think I will add that and get that action in because I think this is going to change. Rocco Rogers says, I like the Reds here. Green's getting more comfortable with splitter and curveball. Brahma B says 9 is kind of high. No, not at Great American Ballpark.
No, it's low at Great American, yeah.
Yeah. Rocco saying Cole Irvin isn't the worst, but he's an 0-2 run every start Oh, 0 to 2 runs every start pitcher. I mean, 0 runs the last 2. He's been very, very good.
By the
So-
way, you know what the craziest part about all this? You know, we've seen this year pitchers getting hurt left and right. Hunter Green has been the hardest throwing pitcher in baseball. Well, he's like been one of them for the last like 4 years since he's come up. Not one injury. Like he's been just perfectly okay. Like just kind of strolling around. No TJ, nothing now. I'm knocking on wood, obviously, but it's been incredible to watch him throw super hard and not get hurt.
Okay. I'm in, but I'm on the under as well. I'm on the under as well here. So, and I got pretty good numbers all at Pinnacle. I have to send. I can't send it in, but the Pinnacle account's pretty strong right now. Brewers plus 103, Milwaukee, Chicago under 7.5 minus 115, Reds minus 116, Baltimore, Cincinnati under 9 at minus 111. All right, let's roll on here. We're making moves on this early slate, and again, Jose having just a spectacular season. I will tweet out those bets here probably after the next breakdown. Benjamin Mills says Green already had Tommy John surgery. So I guess maybe that was like
a while ago. I don't think he's had it since he's come up to the majors. Is my thing, but yeah, I mean, it's everyone gets Tommy John. I'm just glad he doesn't have a second one now.
It's
because we've seen, especially this year, everyone fucking dropping like flies.
Let's roll on. Next up, we have 6:40 p.m. Eastern action. Colorado Rockies 7-24, 2-14 away. Steve G's favorite baseball team. He's been making a ton of money off baiting them. At the Pittsburgh Pirates 14-18, 5-7 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's get into the weather here in Pittsburgh. 78 Fahrenheit, 8.5 miles per hour out to center. Stays between 8.5 and 7.9, and it starts moving towards right field. By the end of the game, it's right across the diamond. But that takes a couple hours for it to move across. It's offensive weather in a pitcher's ballpark. Cal Quantrill, I believe he's the 8th Canadian pitcher to start 100 Major League Baseball games. I think he just hit 100 in his last start. Port Hope's Cal Quantrill. And look,
is he the best?
Say what?
Is he the best Canadian pitcher right now?
God, yeah, we don't have. There's a dearth of Canadian pitching. When I hear best pitcher, I go right to Ferguson Jenkins. So he is the greatest Canadian pitcher of all time. Unfortunately, Carter took the proof that it's a legal signature, and we don't know where it is. So that's
wow,
fucking sucks.
Out of way, Carter.
Cal Quantrill, 0-3, 5.34 ERA, 1.50 whip, 32 innings, 17 Ks, 14 walks, 6 homers. He's always had difficulty striking out batters when you need him to, and his walks are way too high. Mikey Money in the house says, how about that Pacers blowout? Great job. So, Cal Quantrill versus Martin Perez. Quantrill's last start was ugly. 5 innings, 6 earned runs, 12-4 loss at home versus the Astros. We know what the Astros do. They smash lefties. Martin Perez, 2.86 ERA, 1.36 whip. He just continues to deliver. 4-3 extra inning win at the Giants. 6 innings for its 1 earned run. It wasn't earned. 4 Ks and 2 walks. Rockies don't hit lefties. 242, 662 OPS. The Pirates are now the worst team against righties in Major League Baseball. 219 with a 615 OPS. Rockies bullpen 5.20 ERA, 1.59 whip, have converted 3 of 6 save opportunities, while the Pirates bullpen 4.08 ERA, 1.28 whip, converted 9 of 17 save opportunities. Let's get into the line history here for this one and then hand it over to Jose. From a line history standpoint, we have Perez and the Pirates at minus 163. They open up minus 182, a monstrous move to the Colorado Rockies. The only problem is you have to trust the Colorado Rockies, and we just saw Steve G's record fading the Colorado Rockies. Then let's get into the total. This total is sitting here at 8.5 minus 101 to the under. This opened up at 8 and moved to 8.5. So we have a half run move towards that over. And when we take a look at cash flow, we have 56% of tickets, 63% of the cash on the over. So it's not a ton of money that's moving it towards the over. When we get to the money line, 90% of tickets and 93% of cash on the Pirates. I mean, this is screaming for us to back the Rockies. Can you do it, Jose?
I guess I have to, huh? I think this price is crazy. I don't think the Pirates should be minus 170 against most anyone. Truly. And are we really just going to judge Cal Quantrill off his last start in fucking Mexico City?
No, you can judge him off his first 100, and there's not much of a difference.
His first 50 were like great with the Guardians.
They started
Since then, it's been shit. But you know what? I'll trust the guy. I just think that these markets are too much. Jimmy, I think we should just keep betting into these markets, really. And I think we'll be above 60% or whatever. We'll be in a winning pace here. And if we're taking big dogs like this, so be it. You know, it's funny. And I by the way, I think I got your reasoning maybe reversed for you bet, you know, like I think your unit's in 200 to win whatever in baseball. I bet to win a unit. You bet a unit to win whatever. I think that helps me stay off dogs or stay off favorites because I'm obviously putting up more for whatever. It helps me bet dogs more. And I think for you, it's the same thing, right? But like kind of the opposite reasoning, I guess.
Yeah, I think that you would be betting more dogs if you did it my way.
Interesting.
Now, but it's different. We're in different spots in our bankrolls and our gambling careers.
Yeah.
You like the opportunity to bet less and win the same. I like the opportunity to win more. So I can understand both sides of the equation.
True. Yeah. So it's very interesting how, you know, different people bet, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, Rocky's money line. I'll take it. You know, maybe I'm the asshole here, but I just think that the Pirates shouldn't be minus 170 against most anyone. And I don't. We've kind of shaded away from weighted coin flips a little more, but in two shit teams, give me the underdog here, and I'm getting a plus 148 now with a gigantic movement their way, and like you mentioned, 10% of the money, 7%. Sorry. 10% of the bets, 7% of the money on them. Take them full game. I'll rock and roll with them.
I respect it. I've done this with the Rockies and lost already this year, but this is screaming for us to do it. It's screaming.
Yes, it is.
I just
It's kind of similar to the Yankee spot from the other day.
well, no.
Well, it's just market wise.
Market wise, okay, sure.
Market wise, it's similar to the Yankee spot. You know, we got all that money in coming to the Rockies, and it was the Yankees were a pretty sizable dog. They're plus 130 or plus 128. I think I bet them at. This is obviously a little bigger, but it's the same kind of market for me, and I'll trust the shitty Rockies here.
When you do stuff like this, Jose, I don't want you to do it alone. It's this weird thing that happens. And so,
come on, Port Dope. It's great. It's got lovely views. It's created a great picture. Colorado, stand up.
Bo Jackson going to join us as well. Mally Mouse and Pirates have shown nothing here. And Steve G pointing and laughing at us. I imagine he's doing it quietly.
Fuck. Come on.
Okay, I'll join you. Fuck. I'm not gonna, saturate says the father should try to protect his son from the world. And Brahma B joining us. Okay, I'll join. I'll join. I just don't understand why we. So let's talk about this for a few more seconds here. And some people get mad when we talk about these shit teams for too long. We did it with the Pirates and the A's, and we made money. So let me just ask you this. He's laughing with us. Thank you, Steve. If the idea is that Cal Quantrill is going to pitch well,
sure.
In what world does Martin Perez get lit the fuck up? I mean, there's no real world. So basically, we'd be on the under as well. Now we can't.
Yep, dog and under.
Total's gone from 8 to 8.5, so we don't want to do that.
Yep. Maybe the Rockies just put on a display today.
Okay.
I mean, Jimmy, if Kyle Quantrill comes through for us here, I might have to go to the Schnitzel Shack here.
Do you have a
I might have to go.
Shack?
I might have to go. Or the Port Hope Masonic Temple.
No, the Schnitzel Shack. I didn't know that there's a Schnitzel Shack in Port Hope.
Yeah. What about the Nico Shihana Home and Garden?
I've never heard of that beautiful home. Okay, fine. I'm with you.
Bob's
Stop.
Park?
No, stop talking about places in Port Hope. You got me.
Just Bob's Park.
Bob's Park? Is there really?
Just Bob's Park. That's it. Bob's Park.
Okay. Joe Europe says there's a Rocky fade tax, especially on the road. Ron Crawford says the Rockies are 2-15 on the road, though 12%. But you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Thank you, Rob.
That's all I need.
Okay. Let's move on to a bet that we have made together without talking to each other.
That was nice.
San Francisco Giants 15-17, 6-10 on the road at Philadelphia Phillies 21-11, 10-6 at home. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Jordan Hicks against Aaron Nola. Both pitchers looking very good. Jordan Hicks, of course, getting the opportunity to start this year, something that no other teams were offering him.
It makes everyone kind of look like an ass clown. And this guy just was saying it for like 3 years, and now he's amazing.
It does. And the Jays could have used the starter last year, but you can't start him at the deadline. But 61 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 11.9 miles per hour in. It's right to left. It's slightly in. It's from 11.9 to 10.1 miles per hour. Spreadsheet play today. Brewers first 5. That works with us. That works for us. Coin says, I know it's the under 7.5 here. You both moved on. Has to be. Well,
Coin.
To that, I'd say you're right and wrong. Here we go. The total here has moved to 7 at Penny, and it opened at 8. I could have got in on the under 7.5 at -120 full game, and I chose not to. The under now we also have this full run move down to under 7.5, and remember what Mikey Money's been talking about, that these have been sort of pulling the bag over our heads and screwing with us. It's still 7.5 at -115. Can you believe that? Pinnacle's moved it to 7, and Bet365 has moved it 5 cents to the over. That's messed up. I'm shocked at that. So what have they done with the first 5? Wow. Okay, so this is fascinating market here, Jose. I moved on the first 5 under 4 at +100 at 365. It was -107 or something at Pinnacle time. An hour later, it's -110. Now it's -120. Bet365 is moving the first 5 under to the, moving it towards the under and moving the full game towards the over. I wonder if that's a mistake. Very, very, very interesting.
We do know that these bullpens both kind of suck, apparently.
And Kuji, this is not the first 5 in the first 3. And the problem is I can only take first 3s when it's a total around 4.5 or 5. They just get too expensive. The first 3 under 2.5 is -150. Can't do that. Oh, I love to hear that, Steve G. I love to hear that.
And Billy Friedrich saying there's first 5 3.5s out there as well.
King Al, no, we're betting the Rockies. There's no leaning to Pittsburgh at all. Troy Torrance says Phillies at home with 80% of the bets in cash market moving towards them. 9-0 straight up, winning by an average of 4.5 runs. Phillies money line parlay. So that's the situation here, market wise. I think I was just so focused on the total. Let's get into the money line. So it's the first 5 that we both moved on. Here we go. Giants, Phillies, the money line. Phillies -169. I didn't. Open up at -151 now at -169. 18 cents of movement towards the Philadelphia Phillies. And then when we get to the cash flow here, you have 88% of tickets, 86% of cash. Very public, but it sounds like if it was a -200, this would be a cash cow market for Troy. 60% of tickets and 59% of cash on the over. The reason why I focused on first 5 is because I want to back Hicks and Nola, and I don't want to be involved with either bullpen. These are 2 of the bottom 5 bullpens in the league. Giants bullpen 5.32 ERA, 1.3 at WHIP, converted 6 of 9. Phillies bullpen 5.19 ERA, 1.4 at WHIP, converted 10 of 16. When I have done this so far, it's hurt me taking the first 5s instead of the full game. But now this market is really kind of backing it. Jordan Hicks, 2-0, 1.59 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. Allowed 1 jack so far in 34 innings. His last start, 1 earned run, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks. It was an extra inning loss at home versus Pirates, but he was excellent. Aaron Nola coming off a good start, 9-3 win at the Padres. Padres can hit. 8 innings, 3 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's got a 1.07 WHIP. The Giants don't hit righties, 235, 673, and the Phillies are starting to hit righties pretty hard. Robert Franklin looking at Giants first 5. And DC Capper got in very early on Philadelphia because, there's one point where you could have got that last night at 6:53. Actually, for most of last night, you could have got that number that our guy DC got. Take it away, Jose. I'm on the first 5 under 4, and that's all I'm doing here. Take it away, Giants, Phillies.
Yeah, I'm on the first 5 under and full game under. I've already bet him. Full game under 8 minus 120. So that makes me feel nice. I bet it at the beginning of the show. Worried that it was going to go to a 7.5. And then I took the first 5 under 4. I got minus 110. So very interesting. By the way, making me feel a little worse about the under. Grandma wearing your sister's panties play of the day.
Oh, wow.
Philly minus 1.5 and the over. And the over in this game. 10-10 plus 6 units. Shout out to you, Mikey. I do not want to make a graphic for that one, though, Mikey. I'll admit. I do not want to make a graphic for that one. I'm worried about what will come. But, first 5 full game unders.
We used to have a lot of older women, and Jose got rid of all of them except this one. That's the only one. We had a plethora. Would you call it a plethora of older women?
I just like Big Boss's saggy tits there.
Yeah. No, you're right. Nothing wrong with some saggy tits on a man. Okay.
You know me.
I do have some ideas, Mikey. I do have some ideas to make it work. And I also want to work on the ribeye play today because I know what I want in that one. Similar, actually. They're actually similar ideas. Jose, what did you get on the full game under?
8 minus 120 and 4 minus 110.
Oh, you got an 8 minus 120. Beautiful. When did you bet that?
This before the show, like 2 minutes before the show started.
And you got an 8 at minus 120?
Yeah.
Wow. At Bet Online?
No, this is my local. No, this is but just my local here. So I don't know. I remember him. I remember we talked about what site he uses with his thing or his odds shit, and we've talked about how it might be Bet365. I actually bet it at 12 minutes into this show, 10-12.
That's crazy. You got a great line. That was not available anywhere.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Yes, Lee Davis. It's the full run to the under an 8.5 to 7.5, or a 4.5 to 3.5. They've all been going over. So we'll see. And that's why he's betting it here. I love it.
It's gonna be interesting for sure. I maybe I'll regret betting the full game under, but at least I have first 5 as well to cover some of my ass.
Yeah, I love it. And Eric Rosa says not all tits are created equally. That is true.
That's true. That is fair. Yep. Some tits are cut above.
Yep, that's true. Let's move on. 6:45 p.m. Eastern with the Toronto Blue Jays 15-17, 17-10 on the road at Washington Nationals, 15-16, 4-8 at home. Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Let's get into the weather here in Washington, D.C. 70 Fahrenheit, 12.8 miles per hour, right to left, very slightly in. It stays between 12.8 and 11.2. 70 Fahrenheit at first pitch, drops to 63. Get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the money line. My daughter's favorite pitcher, Yusei Kikuchi at minus 187. Opened up minus 174. 13 cents of movement towards the Cooch. On the total here, we have a 8.5 at Pinnacle. This 8.5 opened up at 9 and it dropped to 8.5 at 9:49 a.m. Let's get into the cash. Where does the cash lie in this spot? We have, here we go. We have 60% of the ticket, 65% cash on the over, and it's dropped a half run. Wow. Interesting. On the money line here, 84% of tickets, 70% cash on the Toronto Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays were hitting lefties better. They were hitting lefties much better than they hitting righties. They've stopped hitting lefties. They've stopped hitting anybody. And Jose, if you could pull up the Blue Jays against lefties in the last 14 days, because they have a 240 average. You would expect a 723, 725 OPS at the worst. Maybe 710, 715 at very worst. They have a 694 OPS. They have no power whatsoever. Jay Peasy says 4 guys in Blue Jays lineup are smashing lefties. The rest aren't hitting lefties this season, but have smashing numbers versus Corbin. Okay, so Kikuchi, 9.4 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 36 Ks, 33 and 30 has been excellent. His last start at home versus Dodgers, tough spot. Dodgers are hitting lefties hard, harder than we remember, harder than I've seen them in a long time. 6 innings, 4 runs, 3 Ks, no walks. Patrick Corbin coming off 12-9 win at the Marlins. He allowed 7 runs, now just 4 of which were earned. The Nats are worse against lefties than the Jays. Nats are just 214, 632 OPS. The Nats bullpen is quite a bit better statistically than the Jays bullpen. I'm telling you, that's not the case. The Jays bullpen is going to be better. They've converted 9 of 10 save opportunities. You're going to watch them improve. Cap and Card says Cooch is locked in. Billy Friedrich says it takes Corbin about 3 months to warm up, and then he pitches like a number 4 starter on a below-average team. Take it away, Jose Bouquett, Jays, Nats, Nationals Park in D.C.
Yeah, I'm on the under here. I mean, you put the under train on my head with the Blue Jays and how they can't hit. So I'll trust Patrick Corbin again here. We were on him in his last start. We took a money line. We cashed by this fucking grace of God, which was hilarious. But we'll take the under here as well. I got 8.5 even money. I believe in Kikuchi. Now you wanted the Blue Jays numbers against lefties in the last 2 weeks. Yep, 71 weighted runs created plus a 565 OPS for those keeping track at home. And their isolated power specifically, 064. Not good there. So, yeah, I like the under here. I think Corbin can bounce back after that shit start. And I know the Marlins are literally like the worst team against lefties full season. They obviously got a boost from that last start against Corbin, but I'll still take the under 8.5 even money for me.
Yeah, I'm going to join you. Because the Nats bullpen's been pretty good, and the Jays bullpen, I believe in. Morgan Spooner says Corbin really gets touched in the third time through a lineup. First 5 unders can be live, and Corbin is a bounce-back start. Okay. I'll join you on that one. What was the cash flow on the money line? It was 84 and 70. Yeah, okay, I'll join you. The Blue Jays are a fade on the road this year. They should be faded a lot. They shouldn't be trusted. They should be faded. Let's move on to the next spot on the board here. 6:50 p.m. Eastern. New York Mets 16-15, 7-5 on the road. Tampa Bay Rays 14-18, 8-9 at home. We're at the Trop. Jose Quintana coming off a beautiful start at home over the Cardinals. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk. 3.48 ERA, 1.34 WHIP on the season. K to walk ratio not where you want it. 23 Ks, 15 walks, 3 jacks. Going up against Aaron Savali, who's not had a good start to the season. Coming off a really ugly performance at the White Sox. That was part of that surprise 3-game sweep where the Rays got swept by the White Sox, who won half of their season total of wins in that series. We have 8 hits. He went 4 1/3, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, no walks. The Mets are not hitting righties at all. 233, 677. The only thing worse than that is the Rays versus lefties. 240, 621. The Mets bullpen is very good. 2.71 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, have converted 8 of 11 save opportunities. Rays bullpen not very good. The worst in baseball right now, although I still find that so hard to believe. But it is the facts. This total is sitting at 8, minus 109 to the over. Opened up at minus 105 to the over. So we have 4 cents of movement towards that over. On the money line here, we're sitting with Savali at minus 143. They open up at minus 126. 17 cents of movement towards the Tampa Bay Rays. 17 cents. When we get to the cash flow for this one, you have 74% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Rays. They're being backed. On the total, 55 and 60 on the over. Seems like that's a kind of a wishy-washy spot here. And when we get back to this money line, I want to see this again. So we had 17 cents. The Rays are 8-9 at home. The Mets have a winning record on the road. The Rays aren't hitting lefties. And why would the market be moving towards the Tampa Bay Rays? This I cannot correlate this at all. In the other spots, I can find a way. I can say, okay, I see the angle. I don't see it here. Do you?
Yeah, no action for me in this game. I can see Savali coming back home and pitching well, but I just don't want to put my money on it, and I don't trust the Rays this year. I think they're a bad team, and I've had struggles with Quintana in the past as well. I never know what to expect from him, really.
Wow, Coin says he sees no movement. God, Pinnacle, there's 17 cents of movement. Minus 126 to open at 5:08 p.m. I mean, it was just constant. Actually, no, it wasn't constant. You're right. I didn't realize that. There was no movement till 10:30 this morning. Wow. Okay, comfortably off. Let's move on. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, with the Detroit Tigers 18-13, 10-4 on the road. The New York Yankees 20-13, 8-5 at home at Yankee Stadium in Bronx, New York. And you know that I've got a thing for Reese Olson. I think he's part of my rotation here. He has yet to win a game this year. I like the character of him. I think that he steps up here in the Bronx. And that I hate saying that out loud. I mean, why? Do I think it's just, there's no real data, analysis that would lead me in that. It's just, so I shouldn't even have said that out loud. But I do like Reese Olson. I think he's got good stuff. Stephen Harrison says historically Tampa hits lefties well in the Trop. I hear you, but right now the Rays are hitting 240 with a 621 OPS versus lefties. I dissed the Jays 694 OPS with a 240 average. Imagine having a 621 OPS. I mean, there's no extra base hits coming from that Rays lineup. But I hear you, Steven. I hear you. Gift the Cartel says Reese has been pitching good. The Tigers aren't backing him up when he's on the mound. Robert Franklin on Detroit, first 5 money line. Now the Detroit bullpens looked a little worse for wear, and maybe that makes sense. Maybe the Yankees bullpen is showing that they are elite. Maybe that makes sense. Reese's last start was a thing of beauty. Remember, we beat ourselves up for not being on the under in that game, and then the Royals put up 7 runs in the bottom of the 9th to push that under. But Reese went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 3 walks. He's been very good this year. He hasn't allowed a home run yet in 28 1/3. Against Strosho, I expect Strosho to get worse as the season goes on. He's done that so far, but I expect it to continue. 3.69 ERA, 1.42 whip. He's not been very good. 32 Ks, 15 walks. Coming out 15-5 win at the Brewers. He didn't look very good. Can you isolate Stroman's home starts at Yankee Stadium for me? Jose, I don't have that here, and I'd like to know that. So the Tigers are not hitting righties. 221, 661. Yankees are 246, 755. And both bullpens are very, very good. But Detroit bullpen has been scuffling. We have the Tigers at plus 140. They opened up at plus 139. So a 1 cent move to the New York Yankees. Very minimal. From a total standpoint, we have a 7.5. It's minus 114 to the under. It opened up at 8. So we drop, but it is juiced to the over here. Then we'll get into the cash flow, and I think this will be illuminating. We have 69% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the over, and it's dropped a half run. On the money line, you have 88% of tickets and 89% cash on the Yankees, and it's not moving. Ron Crawford says Olsen has a 2.78 FIP. No home runs over 9. Looks good to me. And Detroit 10-3 on the road. I'll take Detroit, says Ron Crawford. Brahma B on the Yankees. So this is Tigers or no action. This is under or no action. Ray D'Amico already on the Tigers Yankees under. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, I think this is an under. I'm looking at this total. We've talked about it many a times how I'd rather it drop. I had this total opening up at 8.5. Now that's a juiced 8.5. So you could tell me, sure. Why is it? We could tell you 8, I guess you could tell me, and I believe you. But it went down to 8 at 7 in the morning, and then went all the way from a 8 minus 110 to minus 125 to now 7.5. So Jimmy, I'll believe one of your guys in the rotation here. I'll believe in Reese Olson to have back-to-back good starts here, and I'll take the full game under with you. If you're going to take it, I'll take it. 7.5, I've got even money at. Now, obviously, opening up an 8 and getting a 7.5 is not the most ideal thing, but
it's been working.
I'll still take it. Especially with 69% of the money and 69% of the bets, 70% of the money on the under or on the over. Excuse me.
What a job! What a job by Ray. He got that 8.5.
Nice. Shout out to him.
Okay.
But his 3 starts, by the way, Marcus and Yankee Stadium, Oakland 5 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs on 2 home runs, 9 Ks, 1 walk against the A's. That's pretty good start. The A's have been pretty decent, as everyone knows. I think they highly of them. The Marlins, he got touched up, 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs on a home run, 7 Ks, 4 walks, and then dominated the Blue Jays at home, 6 innings, 3 hit shutout.
I thought that we won the Jays won that game. Did they not?
They might have. I don't have the final score in front of me. He just went 6 innings shutout against them.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Tigers. I'm going to be on the Tigers and the under. Troy says I was almost certain I'd be betting the Tigers. King Al on Detroit money line. God, we got some. Got to pull out the lipstick for these pigs, man. Tigers in the under for me.
It's going to be interesting. I had even money for the 7.5.
Okay. Now, when was it? Was it Tuesday? I paid for 8 minus like 122 minus 124 range, and that got me a push on the one and cashed the 3 others. So I might do that again. Okay, let's roll on for us here. Next up, the Los Angeles Angels, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. LA Angels 11-27-9 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians, 20-11, 8-4 at home at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's get to the weather here in Cleveland. It's great weather for unders in New York, so let's do that well. And Eddie Euler in the house. Great to see you, Eddie, my man. Braves Mariners games have gone under 9 in a row, and Giants games under 6 in a row. Yeah, unders have been very good to us. And shout out to Noli Knows, the crown prince of unders.
Yeah, what happened? Where's Noli today? We haven't put an over on the fucking board today. Where are you, Noli? It's all unders.
He was right. My over lost yesterday. All right, Angels Guardians, 70 Fahrenheit in Cleveland, 5.2 miles per hour right to left and in, but very short, 5.2 to 4.2. Thank you, Eddie Euler. It's a very very cool gesture from our guy JPZ. Jose Soriano. So on the weekend, I have now a list of pitchers that I will back. And I don't want to cap the whole card. I just need to refresh. And Jose Soriano's on that list. He's clearly much better than his numbers indicate. In his last start, there was this huge move to the Twins. What I should have done was, flip the switch and faded Soriano. He got touched up immediately. It's funny how the market really indicates whether or not you should pull the trigger. Mark's reviews now says Red's going to kill a lot of parlays today. Well, good. We're on the Reds. He got lit up. Jose Soriano got lit up. Will he bounce back here? Is he a pitcher of high character? I mean, these questions we don't have the answer to. Wine Time will have a better idea than us. Wine Time's in the chat. It says tough game. Angels fighting every single game with the roster that they have, but they can't seem to turn it into wins. Yeah, Eddie, we talked about that weather in Cleveland. It's not nothing to worry about in Cleveland. 70 Fahrenheit and very slight, 5 miles per hour in, not a big deal. Wine Time they can't get runs in scoring position. Tanner Bybee on the other side of things, 3.45 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, coming off an absolute beauty performance at Atlanta against the tough hitting Braves. He looked spectacular. These Angels are hitting 238, 690 OPS versus righties. Guardians are 237, 695. The Angels bullpen has looked bad. 5.42 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, converted 7 of 11. The Guardians bullpen, very good. 2.74 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, converted 11 of 17 save opportunities. Let's get into the line history here. We'll start with the total in this one. This total is a 7. Wow. Opened up at 8 and has dropped the full run down 7. Now it's heavily juiced to the over, but wow, that is a big, big move. Huge move towards the under. On the money line in this one, we have Jose Soriano at plus 161. He opened up at plus 155. So, a 6 or 7 cent move towards the Guardians. Nothing big and nothing to worry about. 85% of the tickets and 89% of cash on the Guardians. Just 6 cents. Let's go back to it. When did this move? So this opened up at 169, got up to 174, 7 minutes in. This line didn't become available till 7:52 this morning. And then it got up to minus 181 at 9:45. And then there was some buyback. So we have 7 cents of movement for all this money on the other side. And then on the total here for this one, we have 50-50, but 62% cash on the under, and the books respecting that. This is fascinating. Sean Pulling on Cleveland first half. This is another spot where it's dog or pass. And if it was dog or pass, I would want Soriano first 5. Is Bybee capable of shutting down arguably the best offense in the league and getting touched up by a meek one? I don't know. Take it away, Jose. Bybee, Soriano, Guardians at home to the Angels are Progressive.
Yeah, I'm not going to move on the under, but it's definitely, again, another under spot here. Soriano coming off a shit start. I like that. He's also one of the hardest throwing starters in the league here, so that's been working for him. And Bybee's undefeated this year, has not lost a game he started. His team again, his team's not lost a game he started. So blah blah blah. But yeah, I lean under here. I think both these guys can shove, but no action here. That I can actually bet a 7.5 right now under -125, and I considered it. But I'm okay. I'm good. I have a couple more plays on the card here. I could go without it, but I lean under.
What about the Angels' first 5 plus a half?
Yeah, with the variance, with the lower variance, I should say, that we were expecting with the low total, I'd lean that way. I do see this line opening up at -177. Bet online, it moved down and then back up to -175. When it moved down to -168, and Bovada opened this up at -183. It is now a -188. Was -190 at one point, so it's dropped down a little bit. So not enough movement. I'd lean that way, but not enough for me, unfortunately.
It's Bybee, Brahma B. Okay, so let me say this. So, Sharon and Maui Mao, 2 great cappers on the other side of this. But I'll say this. Jose Soriano is a better pitcher than Tanner Bybee. I'll say that. Now, he's only 4 or 5 games into his MLB career. Jose Soriano is fucking nasty, man. He's got spectacular stuff. Markel says that I'm tripping. That's part of the fun. Part of the fun. And, I'll put my money where my fucking mouth is too. Okay? So I'll bet it. I'm bugging, whatever it is. If you guys, please tell me you've watched Soriano too, and you're not just judging a 4.76 ERA. But it's all good. We don't have to agree on anything. I'm going to
see how it plays out tonight.
I'm going to bet the Angels first 5 plus a half, and I stand by it. Jose Soriano has better stuff without any doubt in my mind than Tanner Bybee. And when Jose Soriano gets more comfortable here, BJ says, I've seen Soriano get slaughtered. I've seen Soriano pitch absolutely fucking spectacularly. Absolutely unhittable. There's been errors in the background behind him. So, yeah, he got touched up in his last start. So, are you going to just talk trash on Soriano but not bet the game? Because if you're going to say this shit, fucking bet it. Pull out your fucking wallet and bet it. Okay, let's go. Because other than that, it's just fucking conjecture for no fucking reason. If you're so confident in it, fucking bet it. 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Texas Rangers 17-15, 7-6 on the road. At the Kansas City Royals 19-13, 12-5 at home. We're in Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's take a look at the weather here in this one. 72 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour right to left. Goes from 10 down to 7.2. Let's get into the line history here in this one. We have the Royals sitting at -112 right now. Brady Singer and the Royals at -112. They opened up at -119. So we've had a slight move to the Texas Rangers. We've gone from like +110 to +104. From a total side of things here, this is an interesting series. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it. Another test if the Royals are for real. We have this total sitting at 9, -110 to the under. This opened up -114 to the under. A very slight move to the over here. Let's get into the cash flow here. And thank you for the kind words, Josh, my man. It means a ton to us. And let's get into the cash flow. So the cash flow here, we have 44% of tickets, 47% of cash on the under. And on the money line, we have 35% of tickets, 59% of cash on the over, on the Rangers. So it looks like there's some sharp action on the Rangers here. Troy Torrance says, I want to say with spots like the Yankees and the Guardians at home, when the total is so low and the home team is so public, they cash at a ridiculous rate. Thank you, Christopher. I don't know if I'm up less than a unit on the season. It's Jose.
But it's
who
the
really-
horses. The horses are getting you confidence. You're feeling good today because of the horses.
I love what we do. I love gambling, and knowing that I've got, 2 days of hardcore horse racing action is a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And I didn't mean to be dramatic about my thoughts for Jose Soriano. And the fun thing is, we'll let the players do the talking, for us. So we'll see. I expect Soriano to bounce back, and I think his stuff is fucking electric. He's the second hardest thrower right now, and I know it's not just speed, but he's the second hardest thrower of a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he's great. And by the way, Jimmy, Saturated put champing in the chat. I'm doing a trivia game with my friends, and I'm gonna put that in the trivia and have everyone look like idiots when they're like, "It's chomping." I'm like, "No, guys, it's actually champing." And that's gonna be a good one there. It's gonna be a good one. I can't wait.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Michael Lorenzen, 2-1, 4.24 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 14 Ks and 9 walks over 17 innings, 2 jacks. I don't know who exactly Lorenzen is. Is he the guy that went over to the Phillies and threw a no-hitter? Is he a journeyman? When he was on the Tigers, I loved him. Remember, they signed him for that good big contract, and I was like, this guy's the real deal. I don't really know what he is right now, but the World Series champs took him on. Brady Singer, on the other hand, I love him. I've loved him since he started pitching. 2-1, 2.62 ERA, 1.02 WHIP. Last year, he was a cash cow for us. Anytime, he was a dog, we were just cashing on first threes and first fives. Coming up 6-5 loss to the Tigers, but he pitched well. 6 Ks, 3 walks. He only made it through 5. Rangers hitting 250, 729 OPS versus righties. Royals 238, 707 OPS. The bullpen, it's a pretty much a wash. They're both pretty good bullpens. Rangers bullpen 3.75 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, converted 6 of 9. The Royals 3.38 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, converted 9 of 12. Lorenzen coming off this bad start. Brady Singer, dangerous. But I respect this sharp money on Lorenzen. And generally speaking, when a pitcher, has numbers that aren't quite as good as what he's capable of against, a pitcher looking really good, I kind of want to find a way to back Lorenzen. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Take it away, Jose. Rangers, Royals.
Yeah, if you would have told me 2 months ago that the Rangers would be underdogs going to the Royals, I would have been like, all right, well, how much are we betting on the Rangers? But I'm pretty surprised. I'm not going to bet on this game. I'm also going to be interested right there with you, Jimmy. This is, I think the Rangers are good, and I said this all last year, but whatever. I said the Rangers are good, but they always just kind of feel like borderline playoff team to me. And they're kind of like the bar. If you're better than the Rangers, then I think you're a playoff team. And if the Royals can compete here and show that they're in it, then I'll consider them very much in this hunt. And there's 3 AL Central teams right now that are in the playoff or hunt mix or in it if they in it today. So it's really impressive to see what their division has done. But I'm interested to see how the Royals do here. I don't want to bet this game, but if I did have to bet this game, I think I would end up betting the Royals. Shockingly enough, DC Capper just put an MLB's best bet Royals here. I think I would end up moving on the Royals, and 65% of the bets and only 41% of the money on them. That's obviously concerning, and the 10-cent move down does worry me a little bit, but I just think the Royals are due here. I think that line is minus 110, or they've had them favored for a reason here. And I think the Royals do end up getting it done, but I have no action in this game. No strong feelings.
I'll stay off. I'll respect those of you who like the Royals here, but Frank Rataku talking. Frank, can you say how to say your last name phonetically? So I don't want to be mispronouncing it. It's kind of
we don't need another McElvey situation.
Yes, and I'm interested in your takes here. He's on the Rangers. He loves the market move.
I mean, hey, I typically I would be right there with you with that market move here, but it's just concerning to me that they even opened up the Royals as favorites. But yeah, plenty of games for me to bet, not one of them here. Because again, going into the season, you told me the Rangers are underdogs in Kansas City. I'm taking the Rangers with most anyone on the bumps. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Troy saying he's got good numbers on the Rangers to get it done. And good old Frank likes a dog to favorite here. It hasn't moved that much, Frank, I believe. But I know what you mean. Plus money to minus money. I know what you're talking about in that inference.
Okay. Maybe I'm going to be on the Rangers again. I'm getting close to backing. I feel like this is the kind of situation where Singer is coming off a really nice start. Singer's going, but Lorenzen's coming off that bounce back opportunity, and I don't know. I'm going to need a little bit more time. Now the Royals are 12-5 at home, but Fernando's saying Royals haven't faced anyone lately. Blue Jays, Tigers got whooped by the Orioles. Yeah, I'm very interested. I know DC Capper on the Royals makes me uncomfortable. Almost had me off of it. I'll spend some more time on it after the show, but I expect to be on the Rangers. Let's roll on. Let's roll on.
And by the way, someone asked, I think it was Brahma B saying I'd never bet on the Rangers. I just looked it up. I've only bet the Rangers twice this season.
And what's
1-1, and one was a team total, and one was a money line that I won. So it was very funny. So shout out to you there.
We move on. 8:10 p.m. Jose Bouquet's Boston Red Sox. Nasty Nate's Boston Red Sox. 18-14, 11-5 on the road. The Minnesota Twins 17-13, 6-6 at home. We're at Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Houck versus Paddock. Let's get into the line. Well, let's start with the weather. Why don't we start with the weather in Minnesota? 63 Fahrenheit, 8.5 miles per hour, right to left, very slightly out. And it flips, but it dies down. So the weather's really a non-issue in this one. Let's get into the line history. Nasty Nate says the Red Sox smash. Rocco Rogers on the Red Sox first 5. Here we go. Oh, yeah, it's higher, King Al. You want the higher batting average. It's not only golf is the sport where you want to be lower. Except, I guess, pitching. What am I talking about? I'll stop that. But yeah, batting average higher. Houck versus Paddock. We have Minnesota sitting at -120. -120. Open up at -109. An 11-cent move towards the Minnesota Twins. And when we get to the total in this one, we have it sitting at 8, -114 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, so we have a move to the under. A move to the under and a move to the Twinkies. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 61% of the tickets and 48% of the cash on Minnesota. Interesting that the market's moved towards them. Looks like bigger bets coming in on Boston. On the total here, we have 56% of the tickets and 61% of cash on the over, and it's dropped a half run. Wow. Houck has been very good this year, coming off 5-4 win at home over the Cubs. Looks like the real deal. 0.92 ERA, 41 strikeouts and 39 1/3, 41 strikeouts, 5 walks. And we talk about that K-walk ratio, 1 home run allowed. He's been excellent. Chris Paddock coming off a 16-5 win at the Angels, 4 earned runs over 5 innings, 8 hits. He can't be trusted under any circumstances. But the market's moving away. Say what?
I disagree about Chris Paddock.
We cashed with him. What?
His team has only lost 1 start that he's pitched this year so far. So maybe the Twins just hit for him, but he's been betting his money lines. He's at least been cashing.
Yes.
That being said, I think I am going to fade him today.
Red Sox hitting 256, 747 versus righties. Twins 220, 700 versus righties. You could say Red Sox starting to smash righties, but the Twins have been smashing them of late as well.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, again, I was so fucking angry yesterday that I told you the whole year they don't hit lefties, and of course Kyle Harrison just fucking carves them up. That was so annoying yesterday. Continue. Sorry.
He did get in some. He got fortunate. But that's what great pitchers do. They got the double play balls when they need them. Red Sox bullpen 3.3.
He did the thing where he went bases loaded first inning and got out of it too. So classic.
Yeah. Twins bullpen's been excellent, keeping it in games all year. This Red Sox bullpen 3.3 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Ron Crawford says off sweep changing cities. Now we have, I forget who's tracking. Is that Morgan? One of our guys is tracking it. I care about 7-game winning streaks, not sweeps, but it's an important, and it's been, Ron, you're right. They've been losing off of, teams have been losing off of sweeps, but I still need that 7-game winning streak. Take it away.
Would it make you feel better if they're on a 10-game winning streak?
Any 7 or more?
Because, yeah, that's what the Twins are on right now. 10-game winning streak.
You know what's so annoying is we called this out. We said they're going to start hitting the ball, and then they've just been winning. I've not been making money off it. It's very, very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So, did the Twins switch cities?
Let's double check here. I mean, I'm assuming Ron Crawford is saying that because they did.
Yeah.
But let me double check just to make sure. They were at the White Sox last time out. So they were on a road trip, White Sox Angels, and then they're coming back home. It seems.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, this is
it. This is 1-0 this year. How do we not bet it?
I'm on it. I'm going to be on it. Like I said, I think Chris Paddock is good. But I see a lot of sentiment in the chat saying that he sucks. Blah blah blah. I'll ride with you guys in the chat today, I guess. Red Sox money line. The market move is obviously interesting as well, Jimmy. Now again, there's 39% of the bets, 52% of the money on the Red Sox, which makes me feel a little better, I guess. But I'm seeing this actually open up minus 120, Jimmy. This line got down to minus 113, now back to minus 120. So that's a little concerning, but I'll still take the Red Sox here. And I was back and forth on taking them first 5 full game because, Ron Crawford's mentioned first 5 in the chat, and I've kind of mentioned it on and off throughout the year. The best first 5 team this year, the Boston Red Sox, still 22-10. Up 11 units, 28 ROI, 28% ROI, betting them. And now the other team, there's 2 other teams that have crept up and are right there with them now. And one team actually that's passed them ROI wise, Cleveland Guardians 21-9, and the Phillies are also 22-10. Wow. All those teams up 10, 11 units on first 5 run lines. And if you guys are interested, the worst teams for those just keeping track at home, it's interesting. The Angels. 10-21, down 15 units, 40% ROI in the negative. That's fucking crazy. Second is the New York Yankees, 13-19. That's pretty interesting. 13-19, down 11 units there, but obviously by far the Angels have been the worst at 15 there. So those are just stats you guys can keep in your head. Boston Red Sox for me, full game money line.
And the team on a 7-game or more winning streak switching cities is the number 1 angle I've found in all of baseball. 1-0.
Should we double up?
No.
Wow. The difference in first 5 full game is fucking crazy. Plus 108 for me full game, minus 115 first 5 for the Red Sox. That's a fucking big difference. I'm going to double up. That's nuts.
Sorry, say that again.
Plus 108 full game money line for the Red Sox, minus 115 first 5 money line.
Well, that's
for
just
the Red Sox.
That's just Paddock is an ass clown. That's all that is.
Well, I'll bet against them here. Minus 115 first 5 and plus 108 full game. Officially on my card. A Red Sox double up. Who am I?
They're just any old baseball team. Yes, Kelsey, we are on the Milwaukee Brewers. Okay, I'll join you on the Boston Red Sox. Let's move on. Next up for us, 8:10 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners 17-14, 6-6 on the road at Houston Astros, 11-20, 6-10 at home at Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas. George Kirby going against Ronel Blanco. Blanco, of course, of the no-hitter this year, pitching well. 12-4 win at home over Colorado. Weak opponent, but he's getting the job done. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 2 walks, 1.65 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. Of course, buoyed by the no-hitter. George Kirby has at times looked like the ace, the phenomenal ace, and at times he's looked a little vulnerable. 7 innings, 2 hits, 12 Ks, 1 walk, and a 3-1 win at home over Arizona. He was spectacular. Mariners are not hitting at all. 226.58 OPS versus righties. Astros 262.738 OPS. This Mariners bullpen is so good. The Astros bullpen has been a real problem. They've only converted 2 of 9 save opportunities. Ron Crawford, NHL spreadsheet play today is the Nashville Predators. I'd love to see it. I'm on them first period in full game. Ron, my man. And Voodoo confident on the paddock under 15.5 outs. Gifted Cartel says Kirby's last 2 starts, 12 innings, 19 strikeouts. Mariners bullpen is better than Astros. Mariners money line for Gifted Cartel. Let's see if everything correlates here to join you. Let's get into the money line for this one. We have the Houston Astros at minus 109. They opened up at minus 115, so the Mariners gone from plus 106 to plus 101, 5-cent move towards them. From a total side of things here, we are sitting with these Astros, at 8 minus 102 to the under. This opened at 8.5, dropped to 8, and then went back up to 8.5, and then back to 8. I've been staying away from those spots, but I don't need to make that a black and white thing. And then when we get to the cash flow here for this one, we have, and this is important to see if we'll ride, with Gifted Cartel. We have 42% of tickets, 42% of cash on the over, and we've seen it drop. Let me get to all markets. I don't find that appealing. I've always had a tricky time when a pitcher's throwing 2 great spectacular starts, and Jose and I've talked about it on the show. I don't want to, put that on me, but it has been a little tricky. And then you have 71% of tickets and 91% of the cash on the Houston Astros, which to me says that Seattle is a must bet.
Yep, I've already bet him.
Yeah,
I'm already on him. This is a obviously market play 1, and 2, kind of putting my money where my mouth is for the Astros here. I've said they're not going to win the division. I've been back and forth on saying they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but again, shout out to Earl Sports. May 10th is when their easy schedule comes in. Maybe we'll decide to bet futures on them then, but whatever. I think Ronald Blanco is a fraud. I don't believe in him. He had a good start last time out in Mexico City. I was a little surprised by that. But George Kirby is one of my favorite, if not my favorite pitcher in baseball. I love watching him work. I love how pinpoint he is. I know that the Astros are very, very, very good offensively, and I should look up how George Kirby has done against these guys in the past, because obviously there's going to be tons and tons of familiarity here. But all this to say, and I'll look up the number specifically here in a second. I'm doing that as I speak. But all that to say is that, yeah, I trust the Seattle Mariners here, and I think they'll show the Astros that it's their division, and I will be betting on them throughout this whole series. So 3 starts against them, 2 last year, 6 shutouts, 6 2/3, 1 earned run. So yeah, I like my guy Kirby here. Full game money line.
I'm going to join you. Sean saying the line move in the Boston Red Sox game is the same as the Lakers game when the first half was larger than the full game. Yeah, the thing about the Lakers game that was so interesting was that was the market telling us that they were much, much more likely to succeed in the first half than the full game. Now, you could say the same thing's happening here with the Red Sox, but when you can explain it so easily, Houck has been lights out, and Paddock is got bloated numbers across the board. You have a Houck allowing 3.5 less runs over 9 innings. So you can explain it statistically here, whereas the Lakers Nuggets wasn't something that you could explain statistically. It was sort of situational, and the market was indicating something. But it's important to talk about. Lee Davis says, I agree with Sean. Twins come from behind type win. I get it. But it's the number one angle in all of baseball that I've found.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to fuck with it.
I will say their 10-game winning streak, I just looked at I was thinking about this more. Their 10-game winning streak, 4 against the White Sox, 3 against the Angels, 3 against the White Sox. And they didn't lose. They didn't lose that 7th game, changing cities shit, because guess what? They're playing the White Sox. So
you're right. They'd won 7 straight when they switched cities.
Yeah. They went 4-3, and then they went to the White Sox from Los Angeles the next day, and they won, but they won 3-2. So I will gladly fade them here and see that if they're fraudulent here, especially because, again, 4 against the White Sox, 3 against the Angels, and then 3 more against the White Sox. It's crazy.
So that was on the weekend, right? So that's why it was on Sunday.
Let me see here.
It must have been because I wasn't aware.
It was
of it.
Monday, the 29th.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So it's actually 1-1 this year. Important. I have the spreadsheet. I just didn't know that.
But again, it's the White Sox. So let's make that clear distinction there as well.
Let's roll on. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Our next spot on the board: Chicago White Sox 6-25, 1-13 on the road against St. Louis Cardinals 14-17, 5-7 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We have Brad Keller's first start of the season. Came out of the bullpen. I used to be high on Brad Keller. I surprised that he was so available in the offseason. Sonny Gray's been absolutely spectacular. I mean, 0.94 whip, 1.16 ERA. We have 32 strikeouts and 23 and a third with 4 walks. I mean, he just looks so good. Shut down the Mets at Citi Field. 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. Over 6 innings, 9 strikeouts and 3 walks. I mean, he's been absolutely spectacular. Let's go over the line history here for this one. We have Sonny Gray and the Cardinals at -271. They open up -252. Cardinals are not a good baseball team, man. And but when Sonny Gray's on them, they have certain elements that work.
2 really good hitters that don't always hit. They've got
Are they still good?
Well, I'll give Goldschmidt and Arenado credit, but they don't always hit. Yes, and then they've got arguably one of the best closers in baseball. He was reliever of the month with Mason Miller this month. So right now he's one of the best.
His total's gone from 8 to 7.5 here. 8 to 7.5. What was the weather? Did I say it? The weather was 72 Fahrenheit, 4.4 miles per hour, in between 4.4 and 4.8. So it's not a big deal here. Give the Cartels his White Sox aren't that good either. And Brad Helen Keller. Thank you, Rick J. Yeah, it's
I was just looking for that image and I couldn't find it. It's been a really long time since we've seen Brad Helen Keller in our face.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. See no evil, hear no evil. Voodoo Ranger on the Sonny Gray to get the win at -110. The 96% of tickets, 98% of cash on the Cardinals line moving in their direction. I wonder if this is a cash cow for Troy. 53% of tickets and 43% cash on the over. So it's 47 and 57 on that under. And what is it done? Sorry, let me just double check that. It's gone from 8 to 7.5. That's a pretty legitimate move here. Pretty legitimate move. These teams can't hit. White Sox 226-21 versus righties. Cardinals 236-48. The bullpen is a real problem for the White Sox. A real problem. They're so much worse than their bad numbers. 4.76 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. They've converted 4 of 13 save opportunities, and they're even worse than that. The Cards bullpen's been quite good. Converted 11 of 13 save opportunities. Jose just talked about the back end. 3.88 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. Take it away for us here, Jose. Cardinals, White Sox.
Man, yeah, this is an easy pass here for me. I didn't want anything to do with this game. Too high of a line. White Sox suck. But again, every time I see like a -260, -270, I'm always sitting here thinking they don't want to make it -300 for a reason. So it keeps making me feel better about these -300 fades that I do. So, no action. I expect Sonny Gray to shove. I don't know what to make of Brad Helen Keller here, but excited to see if he's lost any weight.
Thoracic outlet syndrome surgery was his issue. 3 starts for Charlotte. Prior
Pitchers
to
don't come back from that very easily either.
What is it?
That's the thing that got Matt Harvey, took out Matt Harvey. I think Strasburg also got thoracic outlet as well. I can't describe it obviously, but it's like what Tommy John was back in the day. It's just a fucking killer for pitchers nowadays, and they haven't fixed it or found a way to rehab it and come back super well from it. But pitchers obviously do come back. It's just it just kills a lot of them.
We have Daby Cab joining us for the last 2 games on the card, so maybe he can tell us what exactly it is. Okay, I guess we'll. Mikey Money said he thought it was us doing coke and skipping baseball games. That got Harvey.
That also doesn't help.
And Mr. Heat says all we get are ex-Royals trash.
Wait, you got Nicky Lope? Oh. What about Andrew Benintendi? Oh.
Eddie Weller says lean Cardinals -1.5. Do you lay -1.5 much in baseball? I've pretty much stopped. You know what? Why is there's so many reasons why Jose is succeeding right now, and the main thing is what he did in the offseason. Went over every single bet he's placed over the last 2 years, and went over the ROI of each bet, each angle, each edge, and whether it be first 5 unders or team totals or whatever. And the run lines have not been good for me. So
mine were getting crushed off. Everyone knows this by now, but it's tough. It's just hard to expect the team to win by 2.
We have one more game here before, and I love -1s, Eddie. I've always loved -1s. Now that's a really expensive -1 on the Cardinals today, and we have the -1 calculator if anybody needs it. Let's go to the last game before we have Daby Cab for the final 2. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Miami Marlins 9-24, 4-9 on the road. The Oakland Athletics 15-17, 7-9 home. We are at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. 62 Fahrenheit, 13.6 miles per hour out to right field. It swirls there. It doesn't really matter. But what a statement that our Jose Bouquett made. The A's are a playoff baseball team.
Contender.
Sacramento A's. Ryan Weathers going up against JP Sears. Sears got lit up and smoked at the Orioles. Got touched up by the Orioles. But the Marlins are hitting .213, .570 OPS against lefties, and the Orioles are the best team in the league against lefties. Sears is set up here for a bounce-back start. Ryan Weathers shouldn't have a job in Major League Baseball. 4.55 ERA, 1.48 whip, 15 walks, and 29 2/3 with 26 Ks. His last start, 12-9 loss at home versus the Nationals. Now, the Nationals today are going up against the lefties, so we have their stats. The Nats are hitting .214, .632 OPS versus lefties. The Nats can't hit lefties. Oh, yeah, B-Hawk, we talk about every game. Look, we're 2 hours and 40 minutes in. That should give you an idea.
B-Hawk, don't you worry. It's coming up.
Yeah, no, don't worry. We don't fuck around, man.
Don't worry. I got action in on it too, B-Hawk.
We don't mail it in, B-Hawk. The horses are calling my name, and we don't mail it in. So, ribeye play today is in Toro plus 205 for our Mikey Money. Toro plus 205. So, Ryan Weathers is trash. JP Sears, there are people who believe that JP Sears is trash, and I believe Daby Cab, one of them. I don't.
I think
JP Sears is a good pitcher, and he can show that against a Marlins team that can't touch lefties. Now, the A's can't touch lefties either. Marlins bullpen is trash. 4.46 ERA, 1.46 whip. A's bullpen, 2.45 ERA, 1.06 whip, 9 of 13 converted save opportunities. Let's go through the line history here. We have the Oakland A's sitting at -140. Oakland A's, big favorites. Open up -129, 11-cent move towards your Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, come on.
Then from a total side of things here, we have the 8 at -114 to the under. This opened up at -115 to the under. So this total is not moved. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. See if we got correlated action. 77% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Oakland A's. 72% of tickets, 71% cash on the over. Very, very interesting. Mally Mal says, Oakland on a winning streak. Why not lay the 140?
I was close.
Take it away, Jose. And Eddie says this might be the A's -1 spot. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, I was close. I almost bet it at -130. Again, I was kind of hoping that the market would try to give some respect to the Marlins here, but this is A's for me. I think the A's dominate this series. We've talked about the A's being good against lefties, the Marlins sucking against them. I think this is a good bounce back. I just didn't want to lay all that juice with the A's, so I stayed off.
And is that just because of a vividness bias?
No, I just didn't. I would lay the juice again, but this is kind of what we were talking about earlier with our different betting styles, I guess. Like, I don't want to have to pay more to bet on the A's, I guess. I would like the A's to be a dog, I suppose, and get rewarded more for betting the A's in that aspect. But yeah, again, I think the A's are the spot here for sure. And for example, like if someone asked me for like a parlay today, I would consider throwing the A's in there, even though I'm not betting them for sure.
I think everybody just has a vividness bias here. What do you think about Ryan Weathers? Do you think he can shut down this A's team that doesn't really hit lefties either?
I do not. Yeah, no, I'm full on board with the A's bandwagon here. Now, the Nationals, You said they can't hit lefties, and they put up 6 earned runs against good old Ryan Weathers last time out. Now, right now in the last 2 weeks, they're 10th against lefties. Now, I'm assuming that's mainly Ryan Weathers aided, but full season, they're 25th are the Nationals. Oakland, 20th, full season. Last 2 weeks, they are 19th. So,
Mikey trying to get me off the -1 line. Not going to work, Mike. How about that? A's -1 for me. Okay, we move on. Next up first, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 games left on the board, and we welcome star of Medicaid Mondays, your friend and ours, a big part of our summer, as he, at one point, was a professional pitcher himself, and he might be able to answer that question I have about
thoracic outlet
surgery. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, Mr. Daby Cab to the show. Daby, how are you?
Good, man. You know the deal. We were down a little bit, but we're working back to the green here. Hopefully after today we hit it. I was hoping that last bet would get us there with the Astros, but a 2-1 day on Wednesday, I'll take it. Or what was that? I'm bad with day. Yeah, that was Wednesday. Okay. Yep. All my days run together. I just bet every day anyways. So
what is thoracic outlet? So what's the whole situation there?
Man, let me pull this up really quick and read about it. Who were you specifically talking about?
Brad Keller.
Brad Keller. Okay.
And they were saying same deal that Harvey had, same deal that Strasburg had.
Yeah, so this I haven't read much about this, but I just don't think that the recovery from it is just not very let me pull this up 1 second. Yeah, it's a long recovery time, and it's not even I think the percentage of getting back to 100% is not very good. Like most people are guaranteed not to come back at 100% from this type of surgery. I'll bring more to the table for you guys. I want to read a little bit about it because, I don't know specifically about the surgery. I'd have to look a little more into it.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be nice if, yeah.
I'm not ever going to give out false information, so.
No, I feel you. Billy Friedrich says it affects the area between the collarbone and the first rib.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading about that.
That's a big-ass fucking area.
Yeah, that's what I was just seeing is that it gets to that fucking rib. I didn't understand that it got all the way down into the ribs. That's why I need to read about it a little bit.
Well, let's go to war here with you. War is bad. I hate when people use war like we know anything about fucking war. Sorry. Let's get into battle. That might be a little better.
Is that not the same thing?
Well, no, I mean battle can mean anything. War. I mean, what the fuck do we know about war? We're little bitches. Padres 16-18, 8-6 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks, 14-18, 8-8 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. First and foremost is the Diamondbacks roof open. I did apologize on the show yesterday, Daby, for stunting that breakdown on the roof being in Seattle, and that was a big mistake on my part. 51 Fahrenheit, that roof was open, and you nailed it, and I really...
No, it's honestly, I didn't think when you said it, I was like, yeah, they probably won't have it. All I was trying to say is that earlier in the day, it's better to see on that field. That's all I was getting at. The later games are real tough to see.
It's an asshole thing for me to stop something because and being wrong. It's just, I just wanted to publicly apologize because it was an asshole thing that I did there. Not on purpose. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I just turned out
that wins, Jimmy. That's all that matters.
That's right. So we have the roof open today for your capping. Saturday and Sunday, roof is closed, but the roof is open today. Let's get into the weather here in Arizona. Roof open, 8.8 miles per hour left to right, very slightly out, and then it's not out. Then it's just left to right, and then it's slightly out again. It stays between 8.8 and 7.9, 88 Fahrenheit, and it's not sticky or hot or humid. So Dylan Cease going up against Slade Ciccone, and he's the guy we don't know much about. We know that Dylan Cease is trying to say that last year was just an off season. He's ready to be a spectacular star. I mean, I know people have made Cy Young bets on him in the past, so he's got a lot to prove here. Slade is a bit of a different story. Slade, a Miami kid, out of Winter Park, Florida, went to the University of Miami, a first-round pick, 33rd overall by the Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2020. And we've talked about him. We talked about him last year. He started 4 games last year as a 24-year-old and had 3 appearances out of the pen, and he looked pretty good. And then this year in Reno, he made 4 starts, 23 strikeouts in 19 2/3, 8 walks, 2 home runs allowed. Came up to the show. He started 2 games here, and he's looked really good. 11 strikeouts and 1 walk. He's allowed 1 jack. He looks very good. But I don't know what we're going to get long term. Benjamin Mills says Seattle's roof is not climate controlled, just covers the field. I mean, I've watched tons of games there, Benjamin. I've watched it rain and the roof close. It's a retractable roof. I've watched it close in front of me. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I just unfortunately live here in Toronto now. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, it's Funko. Yeah, man. PZ's a man. Fucking.
Man, that shit's so cool.
Yeah, I got the hockey stick and this fucking wad of cash. It's just very thankful.
Well, JPZ sent me some sticky bud. Joints worth of some really good bud. So shout out to my guy JPZ. Yes.
Goddamn JPZ, I see how motherfuckers you like, JPZ. I'll take that.
Make the money.
Hands back, Jose.
23 units of baseball not good enough for you, JPZ? God.
No, if he tells you, your voice just climbed. It just climbed there. Did you hear that?
Cry a little bit more, you baby.
Fuck me, JPZ. It hurt my feelings. The higher my voice, the higher my voice gets, the hurt my feelings increase. Oh my gosh.
JPZ. Padres versus righties, 271, 743 OPS. Diamondbacks versus righties, 214, 643 OPS. The Padres are hitting righties so much harder than the Diamondbacks. And is that going to change? That's the question. Is that going to change? The Diamondbacks are just not hitting righties at all. Cease coming off a bad start at home to the Phillies. 6 innings, 5 runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks. But he's been excellent this year. 40 Ks over 35 2/3, 14 walks, 2 homers. Slade Ciccone coming off that great start at the Mariners. When a kid like Slade comes up, he's got so much to prove. I don't know if I want to jump on. I don't know what Slade's going to do here, and I don't want to get too overwhelmed by how good he's looked, because he's looked really good. He looked good last year. He looked good this year. Why would that not continue? Is he a guy who's going to be on the rotation for the Diamondbacks as this year goes on? Let's get into the line history and the cash flow again. It's not that hot, so let's talk about the most important spots here, and that is the line movement. This total is sitting at 9. It's minus 103 to the under. This went from 8.5 to 9, and it's juiced to the over at 9. So they're saying volatility in this baseball game. When we get to the money line and the cash flow here, from a money line standpoint, we have Slade Ciccone at plus 101. He opened up at minus 105, so we have a move towards the Padres. And then when we get to the all-important cash flow, we have 50% of tickets, 68% of cash on the Padres line, moving slightly towards them. We have 40% of tickets and 55% cash on the over, and the line's drastically moving towards the over. Interesting. Here we go. Best bet time from Daby Cab. Padres, Diamondbacks, take it away.
You know, it's interesting with Ciccone, if he's going to work his way into this starting rotation or not, because with the injuries to the Diamondbacks rotation, with how well he's been pitching, I mean, you got to think that he's fighting for his life here and coming off one of his greatest games. And then you look on the other side, you got Dylan Cease. That game against the Phillies, he got, lit up a little bit. He gave up 6 hits in 6 innings, 5 runs, all of them earned, had 3 walks, still had 5 strikeouts. But even with that last bad start against the Phillies, Cease is sitting at a .87 whip on the season, just outstanding. His stuff has been back, 2.78 ERA, 14 walks is a little high. He's got 40 strikeouts to go with it because he's got good swing and miss stuff. But I would like to see the walks down. All that being said, you got a veteran coming off of his worst start of the season, and you got a guy fighting for a position who's not a rookie, but in his second season here, feels almost like how many starts did he have last year? 8 appearance? No.
Slade? 7 appearances and 4 starts.
Okay, good. Glad. So, yeah, not his rookie season, but, it sure feels he still feels like a rookie to me. Coming off of one of his best starts. I love the idea of backing Cease right here with the Padres, especially since, you're not having to lay much juice with them. I took the Padres in the first 5. I got it. Let me pull this up. The line's probably moved here since I took it, but for the show, I didn't tweet it out. Yeah, I got it at even money. It looks like it's moved a little bit since then, but I'll take whatever it's at now. I just think this is a good spot for Cease to bounce back after a really shitty start, going against a rookie that's fighting for his spot after his best start. I don't think Slade's going to blow up here. I don't think he's going to be necessarily a fade going forward, but I think this is a pressure spot for him where Cease is going to get the better of him as the starters go.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. BJ saying this line smells. He says Cease only minus 103. Jose, what's your thoughts on Slade in this baseball game? It's a fascinating one.
Yeah, I just went to go look at the Diamondbacks rotation because I was hoping this would be a little more like Reynaldo Lopez, like Cab saying, like he just battles his fucking life. He has to fight off dudes to get in the rotation. But the issue is everyone in this Diamondback rotation is hurt now. And I never look up like pitcher or like injury lists, and I just went to go look at it.
Kelly.
So yeah, Merle Kelly out, 60-day IL. He's done for a while. Ryan Nelson is going to be back on what seems to be Saturday, and that will round out their 5 basically of Gallen, Saccone, Fott, and Montgomery. Eduardo Rodriguez, remember he signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. People forget that. A 60-day IL. Ryan, and we just talked about Ryan Nelson coming back and Merle Kelly being done, and the other guy is Dre Jamison, and he's out as well. So Slade's going to be in this rotation, I think, for quite a while, and I think he can pick the ball up and run with it. I honestly wanted to bet an under in this game, but this line opened up at 8.5 and went up to 9. Which, and Jimmy, we can look this up as well. I assume the roof is open. I assume
it's open.
Okay,
It's open today,
open.
closed tomorrow and Sunday.
Okay, so yeah, I assume it's open. It is open. But the market, it just didn't jive. 40% of the bets and 55% of the money on the over, and it popped up. So I stayed off. The market says over. I think under. I stay off.
And Daby, sorry, I was so caught up in all the capping and the horses and everything that needs to be done today. Did you tweet this out?
No, you can shop for me. I'll tweet it out after the show. So whatever you give me here, I'll tweet out the same line.
Okay, so Daby Cab is moving on San Diego first 5.
Hey, I want to touch on one last thing. And I got to stop bringing it up every time, but I talk about the lineup with Soto being out. Cease is kind of, everybody thought when the Padres got rid of Soto that maybe, they don't really care about this season, but when they went and got Dylan Cease, that kind of showed otherwise, that they were still trying to, be a team here. I don't want to say he's the guy that they put in place, but he's kind of the guy that they put in place. And I still think that they didn't like having Soto in this lineup. I think something was off. So I think they get behind Cease here. I think this is a big game for them early in the season. They need to get some momentum going. They got 2 wins in a row off the Reds. They need to get a little winning streak going here.
Jesus. Okay. Cease first 5 is expensive. There's been a huge move.
Oh, well, that's not good.
I mean, I'm not surprised by this. This is another version of Chris Paddock and fucking Tanner Houck. Slate Saccone, kind of an unknown thing. People think he's going to get bombed off of it, and he's the Paddock in this situation versus Houck, Dylan Cease.
Bovada has this at minus 130.
Good God.
Jesus Christ.
But you can get a little better.
Bet Online has minus 120 according to Coin.
Yeah, and Pinnacle has minus 121. That's where I was like, holy shit. So minus 120 is your spot. First 5, minus 120.
When did this move so much? I guess in the last fucking 2 hours, I guess.
I bet you that the first 5 has just been a lot more juice in the full game this whole time.
No, because I bet it earlier, man. It's all good.
What did you bet?
When I got in earlier, it was even money, man.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's saying it opened up at minus 110 at Bovada, and it's just been climbing.
Yeah, let's see what Bookmaker did with it, because they got it at minus 122 in their sharp book. This opened up minus 112 there.
Minus 120 is fine, I guess. I mean,
but listen to this. Listen to this. So this opens up at minus 112 at 8:19 in the morning. An hour ago, it got up to plus 105. So the line was moving heavily towards Saccone. and then it's bounced back. There's been a 27-cent move in the last hour and 10 minutes.
You know what's interesting?
Wow.
I didn't want to say this because I thought it was wrong, but Bet Online opened it up at even minus 110. Bovada opened it up at minus 125. Arizona,
Yeah,
and then just flipped it. That's crazy.
that's wild. Billy Friedrich found it at BetMGM for minus 115. Ron Crawford got minus 105. Wow.
That's
yeah.
I just got to win the bet. I don't, you know, the juice matters, and we want to shop around and get low, but I just got to win the bet. So,
Daby Cab is on the Padres first 5 minus 115. I'm off for this one. This one I don't feel comfortable with. Let's go on to the final spot on the board. 10:10 p.m. Eastern with the Atlanta Braves 20-9, 9-5 on the road. The LA Dodgers 20-13, 9-8 at home. We're at Dodgers Stadium in Los Angeles, California. You know, when a home run's hit at Chavez Ravine at night and it goes dark and then the lights are going, it's like I get goosebumps. Like it's magic. And it's just the season started with just Mookie hitting these jacks. And it was just, it's electric. Now Toronto's improving their shithole, but it's just nothing like that. We get no experiences like that. But I digress. Here we go. The total here opened up at 9.5. It's now at 9. It is juiced to the over, but that's a half run move to the under. And on the money line, I'm on first 5. So why don't we just take a look at what it is first 5? So we have that information. First 5, it is the Dodgers are. We'll go back to bookmakers at minus 110. They opened up at minus 110, but this got up to minus 125 for the Dodgers at my bookie. This was a 15-cent move, and then it came back. So there was, pretty wild stuff. Let's see what's doing full game here. I mean, these are big moves. These are not small moves. From a full game standpoint, we're sitting here with the Dodgers minus 107. They opened up at minus 106, but this trajectory was the exact same. Opens up at minus 106, and then we get to minus 120 at 11:30 this morning. Now, and then back to minus 104. So we have yo-yo U-shaped movement here. And look at that. Dommy Gunn in the house. Dommy Gunn in the house. Wow, Dommy. We miss you so much here, man. We talk about you all the time. Jose brings you up all the time, too, when we want. We miss you, man. I questioned whether you wanted to have anything to do with us. I'll be honest. I thought maybe you had decided that you didn't.
He's moved on to greener pastures.
And the only reason why I say that is because we love you, man. And it just, I was sad. That's all.
Were you worried that he might have, ended up like the guy that sends out those forms every year and then we just don't see him and then he just disappears? Is that one of those things?
I would say that it maybe isn't the real Dommy Gun, but he didn't capitalize Hey and he capitalized Jimmy. So I know that's the real Dommy Gun Ricci. We love you and miss you, man. You're such a huge part of our history. So I just we fucking miss you and love you.
Yeah, man. I love you, Dommy. Shout out to you, Dommy.
Yeah, you're the real deal. You're the real article. That shit is now it's more prevalent in the low bag community than is in life, but we miss you and love you. Okay, so we have this half run move towards the under. On the full game, we have that U-shaped movement. This is our final game on the board here. Let's see what the cash flow has to say about this one. Cash-wise, we have 48% of the tickets, 52% of the cash on the over, and it's dropped a half run. Very interesting. 74% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the Dodgers, and we saw that interesting U-shaped movement. Charlie Morton going up against Gavin Stone. Morton coming off a great start. 4-2 loss at home versus the Guardians. 7 innings, 4 hits, 6 Ks, and 1 walk. This guy just keeps doing it. We talked about Trombolone and all the drugs that we thought he was on 4 years ago. He keeps delivering. Gavin Stone coming off a spectacular start. At the Blue Jays, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 2 Ks and 2 walks, 1.44 whip, 25 innings this year, 18 Ks and 12 walks. K to walk ratio, not very good. These teams smash righties. I mean, 266, 802 for the Dodgers, 266, 758 for the Braves. And both bullpens are very strong. This is a real interesting spot here. We have best bet from Dabra Cadabra. Take it away. Braves, Dodgers.
I mean, the last couple things you said go right into where I'm at. Both teams smash righties. Both teams have good bullpens. I'm not interested in the full game. I'm not interested in the side. I want the first 5 total here. I took the first 5 over 5. You can get it probably 4.5 with a lot of juice there, but I don't want it. But I'm going to be on the first 5 over 5 here. These are projected to be, the two best teams in the NL. And right now they are the head of their division. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to. This is a heavyweight of heavyweight matchups right here. And all I can say is the lineups outweigh the pitchers. Okay. In this heavyweight matchup, these lineups outweigh these two pitchers. Gavin Stone, 2-1 with the 4.68 ERA right now, a 1.44 whip. He's got too many walks for strikeouts, 12 walks to only 18 strikeouts and 12 walks and 25 innings of work. It's a little too much on the walks right there for only 25 innings. But I tell you what, the Dodgers have been playing good behind him. He's done good at his starts at home here for the Dodgers. I just think this is a situation where if he's going to allow any free passes, the Braves are going to capitalize on it. He only has one start against the Braves. That was back on May 22nd, 2023. He went 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, 5 hits, and he had 5 walks in that game. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Those walks are going to turn into runs here for the Braves. And Morton, I don't expect him to get blown up, but I expect him to give up 2 or 3 runs through 5 or 6 innings here to these Dodgers here. So I'm just going to, like I said, first 5 over. Stick with it. First 5 over 5 right here.
That's over 5 at -103 at Pinnacle right now. If you wanted the 4.5, you're right. It's -132. It's very expensive. First 5 over 5 at -103. Jose Bouquett. We got Domi Gunricci, OG Lowbagger in the house. I'm sure he'd be very pleased to hear your extreme success thus far in the league. Domi, Jose's got a ROI over 10%. And he's up 23 units on the young season. What do you think here? The final game on the board in the last game that I'll be talking about without being drunk in the next 48 hours. I'm going to be drunk for 48 hours, celebrating thoroughbreds. Take it away, Jose. Braves, Dodgers. I can almost taste the whiskey. Take it away.
Domi, I'm talking to you here directly.
Oh,
let me put money into your pocket. Go ahead.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. Domi, I'm talking to you. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Maybe I will.
Okay.
Domi, I'm talking to you directly, Domi. I want to put money in your pocket today, and I'm going to do it in this very game right here. What have I said through this whole year, Jimmy? The Dodgers are not going to win the World Series. They're the 3rd best team in the National League. 3rd. I think the Braves are 2nd, but they're the 3rd best team in the National League. And I was fucking praying they would make the Braves dogs in this game. Give me the fucking Atlanta Braves here to whoop up on the Los Angeles Dodgers and to show the Dodgers there are levels to this shit. Braves win this game. They put the smacking on the Los Angeles Dodgers today. Smacking on them. Braves money line, full game. I trust the Trembolone. I trust the old man. And I trust the veteran over young Gavin Stone here. Give me Charlie Morton all fucking day.
Wow. We're sitting here with 8% of the cash on the Atlanta Braves, and this line is not moving.
I love it. I think, again, I have like a shitload of plays here, but it's my favorite play of the day.
Well,
and JPZ, I'll stake bet you. We'll do double or nothing here, Steak Peasy, because Steak Peasy, as I'll call him, I guess.
Peasy. Oh no, that could stick.
Steak Peasy, I'll bet you right here, no problem. Full game money line. You're obviously on the Dodgers. I'll take the Braves.
I was just gonna say, for the Braves team total over 4.5, I'm guessing that's where it's at here in this game. We cashed it last time I was on. I know it was only 4, but we cashed it last time. So that would put it at 19-8 now to the over when it's at 4.5 or 4.
Are you going to move on it?
No, I'm just going to take the first 5 over.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on the Braves.
Yeah.
The team total or the Braves is aside.
So he is up a stake on you?
Yeah, I think so. I think he has up a stake on me. So we'll call this double or nothing right here, JP. So you can take anyone out you want on this fucking. Oh, so you'll send me some French laundry. How nice. How nice. Thank you, JPZ.
Of course.
By the way, team total teams this year. I just wanted to, shout them out here again. Best team total teams this year. I can't believe this. The Boston Red Sox. Is this website fucking ran by the Boston Red Sox? I can't believe they're so high on these
the
fucking
Boston
numbers.
Red Sox team total, and in the first 5 is money. Something
21 and 11 to the Boston Red Sox team total, over 8 units. Second, the Cleveland Guardians, 20 and 11, and third, the Baltimore Orioles, 19 and 2. That is 8 units, 7 units, and 5 units for each one of those teams, respectively. And just for those who care, the under team total teams, the Astros, unsurprising, up 10 units if you're betting them, 10 and 21 to the under. The Rays, kind of obvious, 11 and 21. And Jimmy, your Toronto Blue Jays, 12 and 20, 7.55 units to the under. And that is why we bet unders in those games.
So I will say this too, for the numbers that I gave out for the Braves, that's when it's at 4.5. The Braves score so many runs that they get hit with the 5.5 all the time. And I'm not sure what 5.5, that's a hell of a team total to cover right there.
Yep. Yeah, and Rem, by the way, is 100% right. Dami heard that I was talking to him directly and then immediately closed his browser. Just closed his browser, said, I don't need to see this. I'm done here.
Okay, we got it. We got a horse race here, $50 horse race we got to rock, and then I got to eat a sandwich and begin the sauce train here. Daby Cab has moved on the first 5 over 5 in Braves Dodgers, and he's moved on the Padres first 5 at -115. Daby, thank you so much for running with us, my man. Love it. Medicate Mondays. Medicate Mondays getting bigger and bigger and bigger every week. Join it. Check it out. Monday at 11 a.m. Daby Cab, hope you can rock with us tomorrow to jump in and smoke a bat with us while we got Kentucky Derby Day here on the channel. But Daby, thank you for rocking with us. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show, my friend?
And Daby, you have to bet that horse that Razor sent you as well. You have to bet that horse, obviously.
I am muted. Yeah, I'm going to have to be on that I am muted horse for sure. There's no doubt about that. I saw he sent you a Venezuelan horse also or something like that.
I bet that as well. Yeah, I've obviously bet that.
He did. And one thing that we haven't talked about, which I'm sure is music to our guys' ears, is this is just nuts.
Yeah, man. We haven't talked about it yet.
Come on.
That's just crazy. It's just nuts. It's nuts that the number one angle on all of sports betting is when Daby almost bets something. It's just nuts.
Yeah, and then Jimmy, again, we talked about it when we were up against it. That's when we learned we'll never go up against it again.
Never again. And I messaged. I was like, what was I thinking? Who cares what the market is telling you? If Daby got just either join it or just put a line through whatever the fuck you were thinking.
Yeah, and I knew it too because that was last Friday, and I started the breakdown with saying the last 2 times I let the market keep me off, it still cashed, and I let the market keep me off. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have to start betting it. There should be no more waffles. Fuck that. Nobody should have any more waffles because I should just bet them from now on.
Well, and by the way, Jimmy, Daby was drunk that night, and he was talking that shit to me about his waffle cashing too. He was just hammered. So I fucking knew it. Oh, you know what? When you're right, you're right. What can I say?
None of it came out like that, I'm pretty sure, but I appreciate that. Hey,
okay, we got to close up shop, man. We got Kentucky Oaks here calling my name. Daby Cab, love capping with you. After that spectacular college basketball season, we're all excited to see what you do with this format, this best bet format that you're doing on our shows from Wednesday to Friday. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show, my man?
Yeah, we'll get there. Hey, next weekend, Mikey M's going to be back in town, so I'm driving to San Antonio. I'll be there with Jose. I'll be there with T. We're going to get in the studio. Hopefully, Jimmy, we could do something live.
What is there? He's just going down the party?
Yeah, pretty much. I told him to get his ass back down there, so he's coming down.
Oh man, I'm so jealous, dude.
Join us. That's what I told him. I said, Mike, well, here's the thing. I said, look, you don't have any kids, like you don't have anything tied down. What are you doing? Like, come on, get a ticket. So he's on his way.
Oh, you didn't say, Mike, you're never gonna have any kids. You didn't do it that angle.
I didn't get too mean, no.
Okay. It's okay.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you guys next Saturday. Thank you, Jimmy.
Get that cash. And please support Daby Cab on Twitter. Josh saying, teach me horse racing. Yeah, man. Just sit with us tomorrow. You can ask any, or even at Razor's channel right now. Any question, the most simple questions. There's Mikey Money in the house. But Mikey, I mean,
Mikey doesn't want to spread his seed around. Mikey's not worried about that.
And he'd be a great dad. But Josh, yeah, this is the place to ask all those questions. Any question, you're never going to sound dumb. If this is if you're learning a new sport, there's going to be simple questions that you'll ask, and we'll happily answer them. And this is the place to do it. This is where we all. Anytime we're talking about a sport you've never capped, I mean, yeah, this is the spot to do it.
Of course. So when you ask what a trifecta, a tri-box is, exacta box, don't feel shame and just ask.
Yeah. It is time to race horses here on Pub Sports Radio. $50 up for grabs. We're racing for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then we're going to do a complete review and thank you guys. But before we go away here, it's really wonderful to have Tommy Gunn back in action with us. There's so many cappers in our chat that are going through a lot of things in life, and they still make time for us and still come here to get levity from difficult, tough situations. We have Kong's Clips, dealing with a liver illness right now, and we think about him and we send him as much positivity and love. We have Nutflush Allen in the chat. He's taking care of his mom. Every second, every day, they moved her into his home, and it's the cycle of life. We had his mom taking care of him when he was young, and now it's the full circle where he's taking care of his mom. And we love you so much, Mikey. So much, and just know that we're thinking about you and we care about you, and we know we have an idea of what you're going through. Obviously, we don't know, but we care for you very, very much. Juan Ruiz saying, love my low bag family. That's what it is. And I got the pleasure of hanging out with Juan Ruiz in Miami. These guys are they're just the real deal. And it's very, very, very important that we stick together through the toughest times. And so I love you guys. It is time to race. Jose, how many cappers do we have in the race today?
71 canals coming up for us here. 71 horses all together here, all racing for $50 and glory. Glory is what matters most. $50, that's great. That's another bet. That's another 2-bet for people. But glory is what matters.
Jeffrey Moore says, how do I get in on the horse race?
Oh, Jeffrey. That's a great question, Jeffrey. We have membership tiers here at Pub Sports Radio to support the pub because one guy does all this. Shout out to Jeff Slaughter. He funds all this. He's a great guy, and he makes all this stuff possible. So you try to give back to him in any way you can. Membership's a great way of doing it. There's 2 memberships. If you join PSR Gold, $9.99 a month, that gets you into these horse races twice a week here. And you get some sweet merch discounts as well, like this lovely shirt I'm wearing right here. The Pubapalooza shirt for number 3 is available. Jimmy's shirt, he's also wearing it. Also there, shout out. That's a real bet that me, Jeff, and Preston all made as well. Very nice. It was great. But yes, you just sign up PSR Gold right now on the YouTube machine. So,
and while we're set up here, I'd like to answer Leonard Porch's question about don't understand Razor Strategy at all. He posts his card and then always says pick 3, pick 4, pick 5. So when you see he'll go 1, 2, 6, comma 4, 7, 9, comma 2, 4, and it keep going. Now you can use 3 of those for a pick 3. You can use 4, not 4 horses, but 4, because he's saying in race 1 I'm on 1, 2, 6. On race 2 I'm on 4, 7, 9. On race 3 I'm on 1, 4, 8. You could turn that into a pick 3. That's what you do there. Or if you want to use 5 races for a bigger score, it's a pick 5. Remember, when you're calculating the cost of these tickets, it's times each one. So if you have 3 horses in a pick 3 in 3 races, that's 3 times 3 times 3. That's going to cost you, if it's $1 pick 3, that will cost you $27. So that's why it's very important to have a race where you have a single. And we'll always talk about where's your single, so that the price of a pick 5 will be smaller. If it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 1 times 3, now you're talking. Now that's a $1 pick 5 would cost you $81 because it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 1 times 3. I hope that helps. I'd also like to give a shout out here to Truth Teller, our latest gold member Truth Teller in the house. Jose, 45 seconds and then I will take over. And I'd like to give another shout out to Crystal Craig. Says, need my horse to win today for no reason, but my sister-in-law moved in with us and I'm pulling my hair out.
Oh,
I love capping with Crystal. And Crystal, we're going to do a Woodbine day, and we're also going to do a Blue Jays day this summer. I'm talking with the squad about it. We're going to get some of the American cappers up. So it would be a great chance for us to hang out, all of us to hang out. So shout out to Crystal Craig. And Crystal Craig, there's no such thing as being due in sports, I don't believe, but I think she's ready for a top 3 finish, maybe a top the podium.
Well, you know, someone else that would also fall into that category, Nasty Nate, who said his horse trained with Ryan Garcia.
Yes. The
very interesting.
The druggie.
Very interesting.
All right, Jose, take us home, my man.
Yes, let's go home here. Appreciate all of you guys. And by the way, I think Coin asked, you don't pick one horse. You pick one horse for that single, but in those pick 3s, pick 4s, you pick those segment of horses there.
Yeah.
So you have different races. You have all those segments. But yeah, that's why Jimmy singles out his MVP or whatever the heck it was for the Derby or whatever the heck it is. So
just FYI for the Kentucky Oaks.
Yes, yeah, just FYI. See, I haven't gotten to my pick 5, pick 3 portion of my horse betting career, but I'll get there one day. So shout out to you guys. Let's get racing here. We are off and racing. It's a beautiful day here in San Antonio. Maybe this isn't the most anticipated race of the day, but God damn it, it's going to be the funnest call here. I'll say that. Sharon Pulliam, Chosen One, Saturated, who's always in the mix here. All leading Old E here. Kelly McInnes, K. Wolf, Seth Porter, TJ, Rico Lopez, all in the mix here. Who's going to come down with the team and the horse with the most desire, the most want, the most gotta have it, need it, want it, is going to come out on top here, damn it. Gerald Jones out in front now. K. Wolf, Joey Harb. Now there goes Gerald Jones. Jimmy, it's Kentucky Derby weekend. Take us home.
We have Nasty Nate making a power move. Oh, no, Nate.
Oh, no, Nate.
Looks
no,
like
Nate
is moving backwards. Philly Eagle Flyer taking the lead. We have 34 seconds left. Here comes BT. My guy BT, who hung out with us in San Antonio, now moving to the front. So is Fanatical Jim. There's Lexicon on the outside. And there's Big Ragu. Here comes Two Teller. Oh, moving backwards. So Big Ragu putting his nose out into the lead. There's Jeff Slaughter. Remember, if Jeff Slaughter wins, there's $100 to our next race. He will give the money right back. 15 seconds, the final stretch. Rez Mob trying to find the wire. 10 seconds.
Find it, Rez.
Get right. Here comes TJ Parks, and here comes Craig Wilkinson. It's all coming down. Can TJ Parks get the wire? Here comes Iron Eagle and Jeff Slaughter, Joey Harb. 3-time champion or a 2-time?
I think that's 2 for Joey. Wow.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Joey Harb in first place. TJ Parks in second. Iron Eagle in third. There's Jeff Slaughter in fourth. Johnny Guns in fifth. Big Ragu 62 in sixth. And that is the breakdown. Preston Ekdahl in 11. Speaking of Preston Ekdahl, he made a big boy bet on Canelo TKO, or disqualification, and I tailed it just with $200. Not a big boy bet, but I did tail it, and that video is up, and I'll tweet that out. Here.
Yep, I tailed it with you, as you know now. Yeah,
I like it.
I
like it. B. Lee in the house. Oh, that's not ours. So we have 2 B. Lees. Because Billy Friedrich, that's not Billy Friedrich, says, oh my God, this horse racing is best content in years. Oh, thank you, Billy. I don't know if that's disrespecting us or actually enjoying it. I'm not sure if that's a cut. I'm not sure if he's like, your fucking show is such shit that this pretend horse race is the best thing you've ever done. I'm not entirely sure. I
appreciate the compliment, Billy.
Dapper Capper says that's 3 wins.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Jeez.
Is that 3 wins? So he's the first 3-time winner. We got to double check that.
Yeah. And by the way, let me just go ahead and say this now. I will be putting on a horse race tomorrow. I mean, how is there not going to be a horse race on Kentucky Derby Saturday?
Oh, there's some truth to that. Maybe we'll talk about that. Justin McKelvey says, "Great show, Jimmy. Why your horse tripped my horse? Horses don't trip each other; they clip heels. So my horse clipped your heel, and deal with the consequences of that shit."
Champing.
Juan Ruiz does have 2 wins. Wow. Joey Harb. So Joey, is that 3? Joey will tell us.
Yeah.
Is that 3? Because you'll be the
Joey.
first 3-time champion. Okay, let's review all action. Shout out to Sabino Anguano, who is still our friend.
It's a beautiful thing.
Don't take friends lightly. You know, as you get older, you realize that this is very helpful. Life can be unrelenting in its pain, and having friends. I mean, look what Joey Peasy sent me. I mean,
I would know what JPZ sends people, but it looks great. It looks fantastic.
Joey Harb is our first 3-time champion. Wow, Joey, getting that cash. Okay,
God damn, Joey.
I've got to get my action in. I need to be on Razor's channel by 3 p.m. That's in 35 minutes, and I got to get my bets in. Let's review all action here. We are going to cut out, thank you to the hard work of Jose Bouquett, the Leafs Bruins breakdown. So that will be up on our channel, as well as the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and we'll have 24 hours of shelf life on both of those. Gerald Jones' best bet today is the Magic -4. Billy Friedrich's Pig Milk play today is a parlay, and I'm going to pop this in the chat but it's Costa and Ruffy here. He also has a heavy lean to Elvis Brenner at +210. To pop that in the chat from our Billy Friedrich. No, you're right. It's a good question, Leonard. There's only certain races where you can have the pick 5, sometimes pick 4, pick 3. It also depends how many races are left as well. Gerald Jones also best bet New York Mets +115, and Knicks 12-1 future is live. Rodney Barton play of the day, A's money line. He got that at -124, and I have to bet that on the -1 line because I was late to the party. In NHL, Nashville first period, Nashville full game. It's kind of a nice situation.
It hurts me. It really does.
It's kind of a nice situation. I know that the Canucks will pull your beating heart out and take a long gulp of Tijuana tap water, and you can imagine the rest.
God bless Jay Peasy for experiencing some Vancouver heartbreak tonight if it happens.
Oh, is he on the Canucks?
I think he said yesterday that he was ready to experience his first taste of Vancouver heartbreak.
Oh,
I believe that's what he said yesterday.
You're going to get it, and I won't message you when it's happening. I'll let you deal with that privately. Nashville first period and full game for me. Mr. Gokster on O'Reilly over 2.5 shots, and Saros under 23.5 saves. Okay. Then here we go. The next spot is the Golden Knights. I'm on the Golden Knights money line. Bobano on the Stars, Slatsy on the Stars. That's a difficult couple guys to go up against, but I will take on that challenge.
Yeah, I'm rooting hard for Vegas for pool purposes, obviously.
Oh, you're done, buddy. You're done. We don't.
What are you talking about, dude?
Yap, fucking yap. You're done.
What are you talking about? I'm in it.
All right. Over 5.5 by Bobano as well, and Wyatt Johnston goal +195, point -140, and over 3.5 shots for Bobano. Gokster on the over 5.5 as well, and I'm on the Golden Knights. Next up, Leafs Bruins first period under 1.5. I rarely go back to the well, but I am going to go back to the well. JP just says, I think they are a better team. Yeah, no, they're probably man for man a better team. But when you carry the pain of 54 years of fucking losing, it weighs you down. Put sandbags in your skates. Then I'm on the first period under 1.5 and going right back to the well. Then I'm really interested. I got a lot of work to do here in the next 31 minutes. I could maybe spend a little bit more than 31 minutes doing it, but Bobano moved on the Magic Mavericks moneyline parlay. Got that +120 at Bookmaker. I'm very interested in this under in Cleveland, Orlando, and I'm going to do a little more studying. And then I'm going to bet the Clippers first quarter because the basketball players are just a little different than hockey players. And if LeBron doesn't have the weight of the world on his shoulders because he's down 3-0, well, go out and win the basketball game. He did that. Paul George doesn't have the weight of the world. I'm not expecting these guys to go, it's time to look deep inside of us and step up as a group of men. No, they just look. If this is how you want to handle it, go handle it and go 6 for 8 from 3. Now I bet all the player props under, so I'm not Paul George's player prop under, but I hope it goes over. Jay Peasy says, remember when Jimmy yelled at Jose until he was a winning capper? It turned out Jose didn't enjoy that.
It did get old for a while. Yes, it did get old after a while. Yeah.
It turned out Jose did not enjoy that, and it affected our friendship.
No, we're still friends today, though.
It did dip. It did dip.
Your face during all that.
Clippers first quarter, I will bet. Then Troy is on the Timberwolves first half and full game. Bobano is on the Timberwolves first half. And I want the under in that one, but I got all the it's like I just don't know whether or not I need to double down on these unders. Another thing is, I'm betting these games at $250, but I'm betting these player props at $200. It's like it doesn't really. It takes a little bit of the importance of cashing that $250 away, which I don't like that feeling. But we'll get into that. And then MLB, Brewers and the under. That game started 10 minutes ago. What's going on?
I haven't looked. Sorry, I was looking at the chat, just chortling at the chat. Unfortunately, and maybe it was moving out and having to pay rent. Maybe that was the thing. 1-0. Or sorry. Bottom of the first, 0-0. My bad.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's all good. All good. Moving in the right direction. Then we have the Reds. Reds and the under. I bet it. I didn't put the notes down. You have it too, right?
I have the Reds. Yeah. Minus 116. Full game money.
So yeah, I got that. And the under 9. But you didn't move on the under 9?
No.
Okay. I did. Ronnie Lofton's best bet, Cease under 6.5 Ks at minus 117. Look, Jose and I, we've come a long way in our friendship, and I'm not going to let him bet the Rockies alone. I'm not going to let anybody be an asshole all by themselves. I'm not.
Fair.
If I have a friend who's like, look, I'm betting on the worst team in baseball. I believe in it. The market's moving in my direction, but nobody is joining me. I'm here all alone. I'm not going to let you be alone. And if this was February, I would let you be alone, but I'd be on a nice run.
You are not alone.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice.
Thank you.
That reminds me.
That's all I've got from the song.
I can't even do the old gag anymore because it fucks the mic up. Remember the old gag when you would sing? I'll do it for you guys. This is the old gag. I haven't done it so long because it fucks my mic up. But can you sing for me?
You are not alone. I know this.
Phillies first 5 under 4, full game under 8 for Jose Bouquett. I'm on the first 5 under 4. Under 8.5 in Nationals, Jays, you're on that, right?
Yeah, the under the night. Yep.
Mets, Rays. God, I got it. Oh, I'm not on anything there. The Tigers in the under, I'm betting here. Angels first half plus a half. That's all the shit I took for saying really wonderful things about Jose Soriano.
This is your spite bet of the day.
And you know my spite bets fucking
the high ROI. High ROI.
Very, very high. Spite bet. Then I'm going to be on the Rangers and the Red Sox. You're on both of those? Right?
Yeah, Rangers. Sorry.
Rangers, Red Sox, Mariners.
Yeah. Rangers, I'm on nothing. Red Sox, I'm on first 5 full game, and Mariners, I'm on the Mariners.
White Sox, Cardinals, we stayed off. A's -1 for me. Are you moving on the A's?
No. I didn't want to pay the juice, but yeah, I think the A's smash.
And then Cabs on the first 5 over 5 in Atlanta, LA. We're both on the Braves. Jose and I, and Cabs on the Padres first 5.
And I will hopefully be on the Braves in every game against the Dodgers in this series.
Okay, I got to get that cash. I got to get these bets in, and we got to get over to the horse racing over on Razor's channel. OD double. Oh, what happened?
I have 3 horses to give out. Well, 2 actually, because I bet the guy who bet that. He said that horse earlier in the program, the trainer from Jamaica. So shout out to him. I've already bet that horse, but obviously Churchill race 8. That's number 8, the 8. I forget which race I have on there, and maybe I don't remember. But Martin Drexler's horse, I bet his obviously.
And that horse that Drexler's on is also Dennis Garcia's pick. That's in race 8. Fast as Flight. That is the one. Fast as Flight. And I'm not using him at this point, so I got to figure that shit out.
So we're obviously on that one. And then obviously we're on the Venezuela horse, who I have to fucking find that horse again. I love Venezuela. Maybe that horse already went. I don't know. But shout out to Razor Sharp Picks for alerting me. Actually, that horse already did go and lost. That son of a bitch. He didn't love Venezuela enough. So never mind.
No, it did
That's
not.
the horse I got for you.
But thank you guys. Tori Coker, Joey Marinaccio, Jay Peasy with the stake bet with Jose. We got Kelly McKinnon saturated. Joey Harb, our first 3-time champion. Email PubSportsRadio. He knows the process.
Yeah.
Billy Friedrich, Rem Most, Voodoo Ranger, Fanatical Jim, Coin, always dank in the house. Respect. Get that smoke in you. Thank you guys. Kelsey, all of you, JR, Juan Ruiz, Saturated. My boy coming in for us to close up the show. How my big man doing?
Come on, Carter.
You doing good, big guy? Okay.
We're gonna get more hair every day.
Yeah, no, he's the man.
What's up,
thank you guys. Thank you all for your support. Daby Cab, Mally Mal, The Truth Teller, Leonard Porsche Jr. Thank you guys. Justin McKelvey, Lee Davis, all of you guys. Thank you so much. Nutflush Allen, Dommy Gun, Ricci Sighting, Panger Life. Thank you guys. Ricky Bobby. We had Rod Zawacki in the house. Eddie Euler. Frank Ritacco. I'd really loved having him in the chat. I thought he had a lot of great insights. Crystal Craig. A Subhuman Gaucho continuing his cash. All you guys. Josh Lauer. Dus. Thank you guys. Yep. Christopher Tatum. All you guys. Let's go get that cash. I got action to make here. So
yeah. Let's go do it, guys. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Shout out to Razor. Excuse me. Razor, go watch his show. It's happening right now. Jimmy will be there very soon. And then tomorrow, right here, Pub Sports Radio, Kentucky Derby special. Razor, Jimmy, I'll make an appearance as well after Say Hey plays, which happens tomorrow, 11 a.m. as well. Till then, let's cash some fucking tickets. A heavy day of bets today. Very excited. A great weekend. Spend it with Pub Sports Radio. Leche, a los bookmakers.